Again, the links in the description. Anyone's welcome to join me today here in the studio, and we can talk and catch up on anything you want to talk about. I'm happy to talk about anything. But today, actually, I've been working on some what they call asymmetrical bilateral coordination exercises, and it's it's something that it's something I used to do as a kid when I was doing a lot of different sports training and doing triathlon and so on. But there's a number of good reasons for this. It's not just about coordination, but it has a lot of really good cognitive function sort of benefits. Okay, and it's something that I think that should be taken on as we get older as well, because um, there's a and what got me, well, sort of what really brought me back to doing these exercises, these bilateral coordination exercises, was breath work again. um, hey Cynthia, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Really good to see you again. So what brought me back to this coordination exercises again is breath work, and one in particular is a pranayama technique. It's called Nadi Shodhana, and it's I mean, in layman's terms, in simple terms, it's just alternate nostril breathing. Now, that just means that, and I've spoken about this before, and it just means breathing in through one side, out the other side, and then in through that side, and then out through the other side. But the reason we do that is because the nostrils are supposed to swap, from one side to the other, say every 60 to 90 minutes, just an automatic reaction. Um, but we tend to lose this ability, and we tend to lose the ability to breathe through our nose as the less we use it. It's the same with everything. If you don't use it, you lose it. And it's the same with like muscle tissue, or um, strength and bone density and all that sort of stuff. It all degrades. Okay, and so does our ability to breathe through our nose. So what happens then is that the nasal cavities actually will close up. They do shrink. Okay. um, so apart from that, okay, it's about training your nostrils to not only to increase the volume, okay, and diameter, so that you can breathe naturally. It's also about training your nervous system to be able to alternate your nostrils so that you can breathe properly, okay, and more efficiently. Um, Again, like, you also produce a lot more nitric oxide, because the glands inside your nasal cavity that is the biggest producer of nitric oxide in your body, okay, as well as other sources. So we also get it from amino acids from meat, and also from sunlight through our skin, same as we do D3. Okay, but it's very important that we get it through our nasal breathing. But on top of that, by taking on alternate nostril breathing, you also stimulate both hemispheres of the brain. Okay, so this is not just training your nervous system and training your breathing efficiency, but it's also stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, which is it's important for everyone, but especially as we get older, as we age. You want to be able to think as clearly as possible, okay, and you want to give yourself the best chance possible for. And I think it's wonderful for children to be doing this as well, because you want to give your kids the best start in life possible. um, but this is where uh, bilateral coordination exercises also come in, are very useful, because they also stimulate both hemispheres of the brain. And what I mean by bilateral coordination exercises are simple things like using say a sandbag or a tennis ball, using two of them and trying to catch with two, with both hands. Okay, so like you got two of them in, and that those sort of exercises, writing exercises, writing with both hands at the same time, not just individually. Okay, and you build up to using them both sides, or you can simply do so make small pictures, okay, and then just trace with a pen, trace each picture, two different pictures with both hands at the same time. These are bilateral coordination exercises, and you can do all kinds of things with kids that, you know, get them to draw pictures where they're using both hands and so on as well. Really, really good exercises, not just for um, for kids especially. You're also training their motor neurons. You're training their motor skills to be able to control their hands and you can do this with foot exercises as well. You can do it can be very active exercises to train them with as well. Great for development, but it's also great for keeping those abilities as we get older as well. So simple, very, very simple things that, you know, look, a few minutes each day that we can do. Now, for me, I was talking about the alternate nostril breathing. That's one of the first breathing techniques I use every morning. Before I even get out of bed, I'll start doing the alternate nostril breathing because, one, it helps to clear the sinuses. When you're producing more nitric oxide, it's also a vasodilator, so it also relaxes blood vessels in the brain, in the nasal passages, and makes it easier to breathe. Okay, but you are also stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, like I said, and then first thing in the morning, that's exactly what you want, so that you can get up and you think a little bit clearer. It's much more stimulating than a cup of coffee, and it will last a lot longer. Okay. And then, of course, you do the ice bath, and that sort of stuff will also stimulate these functions for you. So, okay, so a bit of a rant there, but we can talk about more about that, and I'll just have a look in the chat here and see who's here and catch up with the comments. Christy's here. Hello, good to see you, mate. Amanda, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Okay, Amanda. Okay, so here we go. Cynthia, very good. There's, yep, that's where I was up to. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Great to see you, everyone. Hello, Amanda. It's so nice of you to join us. Thank you very much. Let me see. Christy, good to see you, mate. Yeah. Just got home from school. Well, I hope you had a good day. Again, the link is in the description, guys. If anyone wants to join me today here in the studio, you're more than welcome. Okay, it's always an open discussion with me in these live sessions. So yeah, it's always fun to have someone join us and have a bit of a chat. I've already noticed a ton of benefits in just 1 week of changing breathing in and out my nose. Excellent, Amanda. That's good. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Oh, you're most welcome. Most welcome. It's not something that we're taught, unfortunately, especially here in the West. Well, actually, anywhere these days, this day and age. But it's kind of crazy to me, honestly. But it's just the way of the world at the moment, I guess. Even in sports exercise, like when I was coaching and doing all these other things, it was never brought up as important, breathing techniques and so on. And to be honest, when I first started, breath work, it was literally out of necessity because I just couldn't breathe. Sorry if you can hear that noise in the background. That's something going on outside. But when I when I first heard about breath work as many years ago, I thought to myself, like, who the hell needs training to breathe? Like, it's a natural thing. We just I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing it my whole life, and I'm still here. But yeah, it's unfortunately it's something we need to be training, especially from developing years. I think it's really important. And if I had kids, this would be the first thing I'd be training them in. um, the Plains Indians in America, they used to, when one of the women in the tribe would have a baby, the women of the group of women in the tribe would watch over the baby as they slept and pinch their lips shut to make sure that they train them to only breathe through the nose. And interesting tribe, the Plains Indians were the only food they ate were the buffalo or ruminant meat, and they treated breath work as medicine. Because a lot of the techniques that we have, I mean, every culture around the world has all these different breathwork techniques for different reasons. But the Indians, they have these sweat lodges and Siberian shamanic breathing. They have these amazing sweat lodges where they breathe kind of like a holotropic breathwork session where you do a lot of these different hyperventilations, and now they can last for hours, sometimes up to 5 hours. They can do some pretty serious stuff. But in all of those tribes, the only way to breathe through normal life is only in and out through the nose. And it's just something that we've lost a lot, unfortunately. But there you have it. It's good to find out now, though, isn't it? Good to see you, Laney. Always good to have you here, mate. I've taught my husband and sons this past week since I've learned you sang it last time. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's good. I hope it really helps them. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will help them. But yeah, I'm glad it's really helpful for you. Yeah. Another good one for kids is to do an alphabet and count at the same time. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. It's just a different way of doing it. I mean, there's a lot of different bilateral coordination exercises to do, and not just for kids, Chrissy. If we can do these things as adults as well, even though that's like obviously doing counting and alphabets, very simple stuff, it still helps to stimulate both hemispheres of the brain. But apart from that, it also gives us better motor skills as well for coordination and so on. So, yeah, I agree. Very good, Cynthia. I'm confused how a person breathing through one nostril at a time stimulates the brain. Air, no matter which nostril, goes into the same nasal cavity. Okay, so there's actually quite a lot of information on this, actually, Cynthia. But yes, you're right, it does. But there's even though it's the same cavity, there are valves there that sort of switch on and off. And apart from cooling the brain, also going and cooling the brain as you breathe in, there was a really good study on there was a woman in America, I think it was, but she had schizophrenic paranoia, delusions, and so on. And what they found was that the way she was breathing was she was overstimulated on one side of in one hemisphere of the brain, simply because she was only breathing through her left nostril. Okay. When they trained her to breathe properly and use alternate nostril breathing, that actually balanced out her delusions and reduced her hallucinations and things like that. I mean, it didn't get rid of it completely, and it took some time, but it actually had quite a dramatic reduction in these hallucinations and so on. And the reason being is because even though you have the same brain cavity, you still have nervous systems through your nose that attach to each hemisphere of the brain. Okay, so if you're stimulating late follicles and airflow through one side, that's actually stimulating each hemisphere. Okay, so it's really, I think it's more about flow, and stimulation. So watch on my TV. Hello, Terry. Good to see you. Well, Christy, I guess I need to practice that one. Yeah. I think it's good for everyone to do these things every now and then, because it's just a couple of minutes, even like 1 or 2 minutes a day, is still going to be of benefit. Any kind of stimulus that you get, especially, I mean, I say as we age, but I think it's really important for development, and why not optimize yourself as much as you can right through life, as if you can, yeah. So I think it's really important, actually. Just a good thing to be doing. It's not something maybe a lot of people see as necessary, but where's the harm in being the better, being as good as you can? Who's going on? Yeah, you don't want to get stuck with me again, do you? Yeah, good on you, George. Yeah. I think people love you, George. They always like to see you, have a chat. Yeah. The reading techniques help me a lot. Oh, that's good, Terry. I'm really glad of that. It's not difficult information. It's not really overcomplicated, and it's not, like I was saying to Kilty the other day. Actually, is there's a lot of really interesting biochemistry behind all these processes that we do, like with nutrition and breath work and cold therapy, and the biohacks that we do in life. The even grounding and light. There's a lot of really interesting stuff there, but you don't have to know all that for it to be effective, and to understand how good it makes you feel. It's just a very simple process, really. Honestly, I mean, apart from the biochemistry, if you get into it, but the actual doing of these exercises is and it costs nothing. It costs nothing to do these. To go outside, do some breathing, sit in the grass, and do some grounding, get some light, and it really doesn't cost a lot of time either. So. I've been trying it, thus the realization that I need to practice. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. If you haven't done these like coordination exercises for a while, it's amazing how quickly you lose these abilities. And like I said before, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's the same with everything. If you don't go to the gym for a couple of months, it's amazing how weak or stiff and uncoordinated you feel. So, I can listen to audiobooks while playing the piano. Well, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I would consider that brain work too, mate. Yeah, being able to concentrate on the playing, although obviously it's like muscle memory sort of thing as well. But yeah, I would say that's pretty impressive, actually. Yeah. Yeah. When I gave birth, I just screamed and screamed. No breath work possible. Yeah, well, again, there's the reason why they give women breath work to do while they're doing that too as well. Yeah, so, but yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. Screaming is a form of breath work, and there are breath work techniques that do incorporate screaming. You know, um, the Scottish Celts, they would use that. Even the Roman soldiers would use screaming to, as part of their breath work, to psych themselves up before battle and that sort of thing, to energize themselves. The Viking berserkers, pretty much all of them do that. Look at the Maori, um, haka in New Zealand. So they use that as well while they're doing their breath work. Yeah. Yeah, Christian, that's really awesome. I'm gonna try that and with my boys. Yeah, I love any tips and teaching since high school. And oh, that's good, man. Yeah, it should. Yeah, very very useful stuff. For a good description of a sweat lodge, try Flashman and the Redskins. Okay, by George MacDonald Fraser. Okay. His fictional hero, Flashman, gets captured by the Apaches and integrated into the tribe. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'll try that one, mate. Thanks. I'll just write that down, is it? Flashman and the Redskins. Cool. Thanks, George. George has always got some useful, bit of history going on, doesn't he? Yeah. Morning all. Josephine, good to see you, mate. Good to see you. I could never get. Caroline Spear, good to see you. I could never get circular breathing, so the didgeridoo is collecting dust. Yeah. I mean, they're quite hard to play, Well, I mean, it's some good exercises you can do with circular breathing, like to make your breathing circular. Okay. A lot of with like the didgeridoo players, they actually breathe through the stomach more than anything. Okay, through the belly. So if you practice, you can kind of make it like a wave. So if you feel the belly first, then the diaphragm, and then the chest. So it's like a wave. So you go out on the way up, and then on the way down, you go. Or you sort of So you go out. Or when you're breathing in, it sort of expands on the way up from the bottom up, and then as you breathe out, you release it from the top down. Okay, it takes a little bit of practice, but there's a lot of breathwork techniques that incorporate this, like the even Wim Hof uses these, but the yogic breathing especially, they'll breathe in from the basement, like the lowest part of the belly, fill the belly area, then the diaphragm, then the chest, and then as you release, keep a straight posture, but you drop the shoulders as you breathe out. You drop the shoulders, relax the shoulders, keeping a straight posture, and release the air from the top down. So you release the air from the chest, then the diaphragm, and then the belly. So it's just like a wave going up and then down, up and then down. So try that. Yeah. Been a bit down and sick last 2 weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Josephine. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Okay. We always get a little bit depressed when you start getting sick. Yeah. Well, I hope you're feeling better. I mean, there's a number of things you can do, like breath work and ice bath and things like that. But yeah, I hope you're feeling better soon, mate. Yeah. We've had GI issues around here this late. Oh, well, I hope you're feeling better too, Cynthia. Yeah. Ciao, Lenny George. Diana, nice of you to join us. Thank you. Hi, DC and all. Thanks, George and Lenny, for the heads up. Oh, good on you. Yeah. Hey, Jonathan's here. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. A couple of months. Try returning to rucking up hills after 20 years. Good. Yeah. I thought it was over, but yeah, thanks to carnivore, I'm back. That's good to hear, mate. That's very good to hear. Yeah, I mean, even if you just start lightweight, just so that even if you don't really notice the weight, even just 1 or 2 kilos, just give that a try. I mean, the more you ease into it, obviously the easier it's going to be for the transition for adding weight. So that's a good thing to be doing. Yes, yeah, thank you. Then I feel the time it was stress more than sickness. Yeah, stress can be a killer. Stress is just, unfortunately, just the way it is. Life is full of stress, unfortunately. What about humming, DC? Yeah, people say humming does things. What does it do? Okay, Terry, humming is very good for you. Actually, it produces more nitric oxide because you vibrate the nasal cavities. Okay, and when you vibrate, because the glands that produce the most nitric oxide in the body, in the nasal cavities, when you hum, especially if you hum through your nose, this is important. There are great techniques, what they call bee breath is the nickname, because you hum as you exhale. It's another it's called Brahmari breathing, and it's another pranayama technique. But the pranayama techniques are very nasal orientated. But what it does is that as you exhale, as you breathe in like a nice slow inhale, then as you exhale, you hum through the nasal cavity. So and you try to draw that out as long as you can. And because the vibration, it actually shakes the glands to produce more nitric oxide. And this has actually been measured. You can actually produce up to 15 times more nitric oxide by humming through the nasal passages than you can just by normal breathing. Okay, so it's a huge difference. Add to stream. There we go. George, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad. Good morning, Australia. Good evening, America. And good afternoon, America. Afternoon, evening, and definitely good evening, quite late at night, UK. We got Lainey in the chat and Caroline as well, who's also UK, and Jonathan. So we got several people from the United States, and we got Josephine from Australia. So you've got
it's good to see everyone
nowadays, DC. We're getting there, mate. We're getting
there. We're getting there. Slowly.
I think your appearance on Kilts over the last couple of days has brought America into the equation as well. So that's really good.
Yeah, that was nice actually. I was I don't usually stay up that late or sort of spend time on the computer that late, but I thought I'd hang out, and then I found Kilty, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll jump on if no one's going to come in and chat with me. So,
as you might remember, when I was doing Carnivore Sunday School, I was trying to convince you to come on, but it's 3 a.m. your time. So
yeah.
So you politely but firmly told me to F off. So.
That's not so bad every now and then, but yeah. But I always quite enjoy speaking with Dr. Kiltz. He's kind of, he's a great guy. He's a really great guy. Actually, I really like him.
Yeah.
He's one of he's interesting. He's one of the more interesting people I've met, actually. So
the thing is, he's a complete maverick, and he does throw he just thinks out loud, and does throw theories, hypotheses, and ideas into the mix, which aren't necessarily not everybody agrees with, or not necessarily make sense. But the great thing is he's thinking, and he's just putting new ideas out there all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't stand still and won't let the grass grow under his feet. He's always he gets a bee in his bonnet like scientism, and and then he'll run with that for a while, and then he'll move on to something else. He's great. He's.
Well, I think that's the ADHD.
Go on, DC.
Yeah, I think that's the ADHD. See, that's another thing to it. Is somewhat of it kind of motivates me as well. Because he's we actually have a birthday just maybe a few days apart actually, but
March. Yeah.
And he has ADHD as well, and he's come from a pretty poor or restricted sort of background, and done amazing things. I think he's had quite an incredible life, really. So he kind of motivates me a lot too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he does go off a bit half cocked. He's got a lot of energy, and he finds something. He fixates on, and then he dumps it, and then sort of jumps from one spot to the other. But that's the ADHD, you know. He's kind of
exactly. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know his background, he was raised in LA. His father was in jail. He was a gang member, dyslexic and illiterate, but he decided to turn his life around. And fair play to Dr. Kiltz.
Yeah.
But life is never a dull moment with Dr. Kiltz. I spent quite a considerable amount of time as his personal sort of what's the word I'm looking for, escort, as his companion here in the UK, and there's never a dull moment. And in fact, I've actually christened it Kiltz Chaos, and that was actually used in the KMT newsletter this week. So Kiltz Chaos is now an official. It's been recognised by the KMT.
Yeah,
and it's never a dull moment with Dr. Kiltz. What a man! He's a very good friend of mine now, having spent so much time with him on a personal level. Yeah. And he's just an amazing guy, really.
Oh, I think so too. I think he's amazing. Yeah, I think he's an awesome guy. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. I'm just catching up with some of these comments here, mate.
Yeah, when you're ready, DC, you've given me an excuse to come on, because we're going to do a show and tell about some of the books which shows about life in the 19th century. And I know that a lot of our viewers are. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I have the book on my to listen. Oh, okay. Yep. Good on you, Cynthia. Yep. It feels good, DC. Oh, that's good. Excellent. Yeah, I mean, you feel the stimulation. You will if you continue this. If you do the humming through the nose, through the nasal passage. Yeah, try and without opening your mouth, just let your jaw relax. So just let your teeth sort of separate a little bit, and do the humming. You can feel your whole face vibrating. Okay, that's quite stimulating, and you will. I mean, it's surprising how good it actually feels. You know, after you do this for a few minutes, a bit of humming, you feel more relaxed and more at ease. You know, nitric oxide has so many benefits in the body. Apart from being a vasodilator, it's also an antioxidant enabler. So it actually helps to deliver the antioxidants that we produce ourselves. Okay, we don't need to supplement antioxidants. We make antioxidants ourselves, but nitric oxide helps to deliver those antioxidants to our cells, for one. But it also stimulates the brain. Okay, you have different cognitive processes and electrical charges in your brain that nitric oxide helps to stimulate as well. So you feel clearer, you feel more relaxed, you just feel pretty good actually. Humming, the Brahmari bee breathing is very effective. You know, I like to incorporate like with the alternate nostril breathing as well, because you're doing. I mean, even they're two different breathing techniques, but they are both very stimulating. So if you can do them together, you'd be surprised how different it feels as well. So try and humming through one nostril at a time. You know. Hey, Jonathan, good to see you, mate. DC, tell me about it. I find myself getting in a right pickle in breathwork while holding a yoga pose. Yeah, it can be. You can do that. You twist yourself up into a pretzel. Really, it can be kind of a little bit complicated and takes practice. You know, especially if you are what they call wave breathing, like I was trying to explain before, like the expansion of different parts of the torso to breathe. And if you get up to the top, what they call clavicular breathing, where you pull your shoulders back and open up around the clavicle, this is quite stimulating as well. Because, you know, you also, you know, when we're talking about stimulating brown adipose tissue, for example, a lot of the brown adipose tissue around our body is stored around the clavicle, okay, and around our organs and our torso, okay. So these breathing techniques will also stimulate because where mitochondria is actually produced, new mitochondria is produced in brown adipose tissue, you will actually stimulate the circulation of these of your mitochondria in your body by doing these breathwork techniques. So the more you can move your different muscle groups around in your torso, the more circulation you're going to get. It's also a very good stimulant for your lymphatic system, and that, you know, for your lymphatic system is so important that it's, I mean, you think about your muscles all around your body, is that basically all your skeletal muscles are an endocrine organ, really, one big endocrine organ. And then in that respect, it is the, you know, your muscle system is the largest organ in the body, not the skin. Okay, because it is an endocrine organ, and the muscles are also not just designed to help you get around and help you move, but they are the pump system for the lymphatic system to get all these things, these processes around your body. So it's really important. Hey George, good to see you. Fanny, what sort of yoga are you doing? Good question. Is there something on YouTube? I'm about done with a year-long program. I'm looking for something a bit different to my weightlifting. Very cool, Cynthia. Yeah, yoga is a great thing, a great practice to take on. I'm at the point where I want to do some videos about more breathwork techniques, especially some, because I've just recently finished studying with the Shaolin monks, and I'm part of the Shaolin community now. But some of the techniques I want to show you guys involve quite a bit of movement. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to buy some different camera equipment, because the camera equipment I have is not very conducive to that, you know, full body sort of stuff. So I will, you know, I'll keep you posted on that, because there's some really cool stuff you can do. You know, Tai Chi sort of movements are really effective because you are incorporating coordination with coordinating your breath, and it's really about connecting your body and spirit. This is how they believe, or this is what they believe, that using movement as and coordinated with your breath work will make you more centered, okay, and bring you in line, your body in line with your spirit. So it's really cool stuff, actually. Amanda, I watched the video on calming a child by smoothing the skin on the hand or arm, and it triggers calming nerve. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. Cynthia, no, we have yoga in the park. Oh, yeah, yoga in the park. Cool, that's cool. Yeah, great to do it outside. Do it barefoot, grounding, get some sunlight. Awesome. Humming now. Good. Yeah, good. It's surprising, isn't it? It's I mean, it's a fun thing people like used to do. Like they would be walking down the street humming and sort of, you know, but of course it's not a very cool thing to do these days. But, you know, just a normal reaction by people to hum, basically, if you're in a good mood. But that also, but humming will actually help you get into that good mood, you know? Yeah. Oh, that's good, Sandy. I'm glad it feels good. Yeah, excellent. All right. So what's been going on with you, mate?
Yeah, everything's good, DC. And you basically this morning, because you're on kilts, and you mentioned the French doctor, as you called him, who discovered that horse fresh meat would cure scurvy. So that's Dominique Jean Larrey. As you know, he's one of the guys that I researched. He was a French Surgeon General at the Siege of Alexandria in 1801. That's where he discovered it, and it just made me think about the 19th century and the lost knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
His opposite number at the time was a guy called Henry Rollo, who was using low carb to treat diabetes.
Yeah.
The illnesses associated with diabetes. So he was a very interesting character as well. But as you know, it sort of triggered me thinking about the 19th century, because I sent you some of the stuff from Three Men in the Boat today. which was the doctor's prescription from 1889, which is a key time, because this was before the Flexner Report of 1911. And it was also before John Harvey Kellogg arrived on the scene. So it was a very important part of history. So if we just talk about a minute about Three Men in the Boat, that is an audio book, but we'll do a show and tell. That is the cover of Three Men in the Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. It's a very funny novel about three young bachelors who are all feeling a bit unwell. They live in London, and London life is getting them down, and they want to go out and freshen up, you might say. So they decide to take a rowing trip up the River Thames, and it's quite hilarious because it's three young men getting into various scrapes and that sort of thing. But the key thing is that in chapter 1, Jerome says that he went into a library and he read a medical encyclopedia, and he discovered that he had every ailment under the sun except Housemaid's knee. He felt a bit robbed by the fact he didn't have Housemaid's knee. So when he went to visit a doctor who gave him a full examination and wrote him a prescription. So Jay didn't even look at it because he knew he wouldn't understand it. So he just folded it up, put it in his pocket, and went to see a chemist, a pharmacist. The chemist handed the prescription back and said, I can't really supply that. So he said, well, you are a chemist, aren't you? Because Jay was expecting some pills and some potions. And he said, yes, sir. But he said, if I was something, a hotel or a country club, I might be able to help you out. So he looked at it, and the doctor's prescription was 1 pound of beefsteak every 6 hours, plus 1 pint of bitter beer every 6 hours, 1 10-mile walk every day, and 1 bed at 11 o'clock sharp. So basically, take away the beer, because obviously beer was considered healthier than water back in 1889.
Yeah.
And you have 1 pound of beefsteak every 6 hours, 1 10-mile walk, and 1 decent night's sleep. That kind of rings a bell, doesn't it? You see, with us a century and a half on. So where did we go quite so wrong along the way? I think the story is probably apocryphal, because Jerome J. Jerome actually put it in there as a launch into his comedy book. But on the other hand, it does show what he considered to be a healthy lifestyle back in 1889, which was beef, beer, walking, and a good night's sleep. And
in other words, good lifestyle habits.
Exactly, yeah. So if they knew that then, why don't they know it now? And equally, just a few chapters on, they're when they're actually talking about when they're just about to leave, actually, they're having breakfast before they leave. And Harris, who is one of Jerome K. Jerome's companions, was discussing breakfast. And he was discussing whether he should eat the chops or the cold beef first for breakfast. Yeah. Notice there is no sign of cornflakes there, because as you pointed out to me on WhatsApp earlier, obviously this is before Kellogg's, just before Kellogg's. So there's no cereal, no bread, no fruit. It's all about Harris can't make up his mind. Should he eat the chops first or the cold beef first? Then he decides on the chops, because the cold beef is cold, therefore it can wait. So he has to eat the hot chops first. But that was a Victorian breakfast apparently. So where did we lose that habit of eating beef and chops for breakfast? Why does everybody now say, hey, you can't eat beef for breakfast because you have to eat bacon and eggs is acceptable, but usually it's cereal, fruit, and bread with jam. So again, lots of along the way. So, exactly. So I can highly recommend it. It is an audio book on YouTube, so you can listen to it. It's not all about health. What it kind of is about mental health, because they go up the river and they have some adventures. They get lost in Hampton Court Maze and various other things, and they I think one of them, can't remember whether it's George or Harris, is absolutely fixated on visiting gravestones, which Jerome K. Jerome can't understand it. It's, so they have arguments along the way. And then one night, I think Harris and Jay go for a walk along the riverbank, leaving George in charge of the boat. And when they get back, he's behaving very strangely, and the bottle of whiskey has suddenly disappeared. It's absolutely hilarious. It really is. So, highly recommended, and a couple of very salient points about the life in the 19th century.
Yeah, I think it's very telling actually of the time, because you like there was a lot of information about this sort of, like we're talking about the French Surgeon General and things like that, Salisbury and all the others, but you can see the decline or the difference between then and not so long afterwards, when Kellogg took over the whole breakfast industry, and the education, because that's where nutrition education started. It was started by the Kellogg's industry, or corporation. And, all these so-called nutrition sciences, people don't understand. They're not just owned by big food. They were started by big food.
Yes.
So they controlled the education from day one.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Kellogg's was only 20 years, or barely 20 years, before the Flexner Report and Rockefeller. Now, right. Rockefeller obviously commissioned the Flexner Report because he wanted to sell pills, because his petrochemical, his oil industry would provide the casing for the pills, which it still does today. Interesting, the Flexner Report said that allopathic medicine was the only acceptable medicine, therefore homeopathic medicine was shut down. Interestingly enough, I happen to know we do have an independent, I think she's an independent homeopath, excuse me, Caroline, if I'm wrong, actually in the chat tonight. Caroline, you've met actually on Barbara's channel, is a GAPS practitioner and a homeopath, from what I understand. Okay. So that was the Flexner Report basically condemned homeopathic medicine, what we now call alternative medicine, which was actually normal. Yeah, you're right, Sammy. I do have an itchy back on account of the fact that I was out in the sun last week, and it's starting to peel because I haven't had a chance to top it up. So yeah, you're right. I do have an itchy back because I am peeling and having had a day on the beach last week. Yeah. Sorry, lost my train of thought now. Yeah. So the Flexner Report really totally shut down all forms of medicine other than the allopathic medicine, allowing what's his name, Rothschild, the other one, Rockefeller, to supply the casings basically for pills, which still does today. So very, very clever by Rockefeller. But Flexner Report 1911, do look it up. Problems there. So we must stop reading chat because I'm getting distracted.
That's the thing, though, too. Like people don't understand that the influence that education has on policy as well, because this is what Kellogg did, right? They took over. They started the education on nutritional science, and of course, it was all biased towards what they wanted, but they infiltrated education, and universities influence not just younger generations and more generations and so on, but they also influence policy in politics as well. Because, even the university that I'm going to at the moment in Adelaide, like they were on the news, on television news last week, trying to convince people that we should be eating bugs instead of beef.
Yeah.
So this is, the important thing is that when these corporations started, like the Sanitarium Group, like the Kellogg's, they started these educational institutions on nutrition. They weren't just trying to tell us to, trying to get us to eat through or so-called fake science and all that. They were trying to influence. They were deliberately trying to influence politics. And that's what his sanitariums, like, that's what they call it, sanitarium, because he used to have all these so-called health sanitariums around the country in America, where all their celebrities and politicians would all go vacationing like a resort. And of course, they'd all come back as, being brainwashed into eating nothing but cardboard.
Absolutely. So if I can just expand on the political side of things, Rockefeller was the head of a triumvirate of three very, very influential people at the time. It was Carnegie and Henry T. Ford. So Carnegie was the steel magnate. Rockefeller was petrol, and of course Ford combined both of those two because he needed both oil and steel to build his cars. So they formed a very, very powerful political triumvirate and cornered the market, really. Rockefeller.
I think at some point though, Carnegie actually sold his entire steel industry to Rockefeller. Actually, I think it was the biggest deal in the world at the time. I think he sold everything for like $400 million. which he later regretted because he could have gotten a lot more money. But afterwards he was very different anyway. So, but yeah, there's a lot of history there that that always influences politics, and always unfortunately it's the had a very negative, in a very negative way, and a lot of it, like the Rockefeller and so on, they are Rhodes scholars as well. Like they were educated by the Rhodes program, which is all about propping up the imperial, the empire, the British Empire.
Absolutely. Was his name Cecil Rhodes?
Cecil Rhodes, yeah.
He was a founder of Rhodesia, which has now become Zimbabwe, and he was obviously very much in favor of the empire.
Yeah, it was all about, like he left his entire fortune for the Rhodes Scholarship, and you'll see these Rhodes Scholar people all through America now, like the Mamdani, for example, in New York. He was a Rhodes Scholar. These people are all just working for the empire, really. So it's the influence of these people is very far-reaching, unfortunately.
Absolutely. Do you want DC? Do you want to catch up with chat, because we'll do that? And I've got plenty more stuff from the 19th century I'd like to talk about tonight. Really.
All right. Question: can you recommend a good Tai Chi channel? That was something also besides the yoga that I was thinking about. Let's see. I mean, I've seen a few of them. White Tiger, I think it is. I think the White Tiger Tai Chi, I think it is. But not offhand, really. So I mean, I get all my stuff down like straight from the Shaolin monks. But I'm sure there are some good ones on. I think White Tiger is not a bad one, actually. I do subscribe to on YouTube, actually. So maybe give him a try. Had a view for Sandy. How you been? Humming is fun and good. Yes. What about singing? Yeah, is that why I always feel good when I sing? If you are breathing properly, yes, but it doesn't have the same effect, because when you are singing, you're not generally breathing. As long as you're breathing through your nose, you're always going to feel a little bit better. And singing does put you in a good mood, but for different reasons. It sort of affects your autonomic nervous system. But yeah, humming will actually give you more physiological benefits than singing will. Okay, but anything that makes you happy is still going to be very healthy. Essentially, I'm going to have a look at the Pilates one. Okay, cool. Backwards George. I don't know what that's for, but there you go. Do you still go in for PET scans? Every now and then, I had a list of tests done in January, I think it was, or February this year. I see my oncologist again next month. I haven't actually seen my oncologist for almost a year, so they've actually extended that out to yearly visits now, finally. So not so much anymore, but yeah, once a year at least. Yeah, that's about it. But I'm doing pretty well. George has itchy back. Yep.
Yes, I'll just explain that to Sandy. Yeah,
I hate that sunburn.
You've seen the photographs from the beach from last weekend. What it was because I have to work in protection equipment. I don't get sun on my back during the week, so that was the first exposure I had. I gave it 6 hours. Yeah, it did burn a little bit, even though we don't burn. It did actually, and now nearly a week on, and it's peeling and it's very itchy. So yeah. Apologies if I am doing this occasionally, but I do have an itchy back.
Yeah, I mean, you got to build up a callus. You got to build up that sun callus. Even if you are carnivore, you still burn. It's just going to be a much better reaction. It's going to a much better reaction than you would normally. That's all. So, yeah, they said you'll eat the bugs like it. Yeah. I'll eat a politician first. Did you ever see Nicole Kidman eating? Oh, yes, I did actually. Yeah. Then trying to promote it and just wasn't working. You could tell she wasn't enjoying. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's just. I mean, her and Hugh Jackman. You know, they're both the same, just Hollywood useful idiots, basically. Yeah, there's despicable people, really. Yeah, sorry to distract you in the chat. That's funny. Yeah.
That's no problem. So.
Yeah, because George couldn't read what you were.
No, I don't really know how to overcome this, but if I'll hold out for a slightly longer,
mirror, maybe mirror the picture in your settings. Yeah.
You just spoke a foreign language to me, DC. I'm a complete techno idiot. To put it politely. Yeah, if I'll hold up for a slightly longer, so you can kind of
just read it backwards.
Just read it backwards. It takes a bit longer, but it is. I'll talk through it. It's called 3 Men in a Boat. Subtitle, not to mention the dog, by Jerome K. Jerome. So same Christian name as surname. It was written in 1889, and you will find it on YouTube. Just put in 3 Men in a Boat, Jerome K. Jerome, and it's very well read as an audio book. So yeah, that's so hopefully you would have managed to get that. Yeah, 3 Men in a Boat.
Try it now, mate. Just hold that up again. I was trying to try something. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I just mirrored your camera for you.
Oh, well done. Okay, that's very clever, DC. It's what will they think of next, as they say. It's incredible what they can do nowadays.
There you go. Three men in a boat.
I am a man born in 1965, and when I was at school, there was one computer down in the physics lab. It was considered to be a real nerds thing, and there was only one chap who actually spent a lot of time down there. Oddly enough, he's a millionaire now, and here I am sat.
I was going to say, I bet he's a millionaire.
Yeah, we all laughed at him for being such a science nerd. But who's laughing now? Eh?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it is what it is. Yeah.
That was back in the day when only a calculator and a digital watch was really cool. That was a
that's right. Or, do you remember those? Calculator watches?
Yeah, that was but that came much later. You know, because I remember I had my first ever calculator, which was really very expensive, and then digital watches came along after a while, and then somebody thought it came up with a really clever idea of combining a watch and a calculator. Yeah. It's incredible how far we've come technology-wise. I mean, it's just unbelievable that you and I have now got instant communication with each other from the other side of the world on just with the press of a button. Back in the old days, how we wanted to stay in contact, it would have been an impossibly expensive telephone call, or we would have had to write airmail letters to each other. Nowadays, I think, I must tell DC this. Bang, and off it goes. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, imagine having to write, rely on carrier pigeons.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the day, Yeah. Oh, you're very welcome, Diana. Yeah. Very welcome. Yeah. All right. So what's next?
Okay, so we're going to talk some more about the 19th century. We touched on Henry Rollo and Dominique Jean Larrey from the Napoleonic Wars. I can't remember. Myself, Dr. Nelson, and Kerry did a feature on a guy called Bernard Moncrief back along DC, but that was before you and I had instant communication. So I don't think if you're aware of what we were doing. Bernard Moncrief in 1854 wrote a book, something like The Philosophy of the Stomach. And he was a meat only guy. He had a lot of mental and physical health problems throughout his young life. Yeah. And then he did an incredible thing. He transitioned to carnivore by going milk only for 6 months.
Oh, that's right. You're talking about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Bernard Moncrief, he was German. B-E-R Bernard, and then Moncrief, M-O-N-C-R-I-F-F. The Philosophy of the Stomach. There was a much longer title to it. But here it ended tragically because he published that in 1854, but it didn't really succeed. And in 1856, in a very cold Dickensian winter, he had no money and was so cold and so miserable, couldn't afford meat anymore, was trying to live on bread and sugar water, and took his own life because he blamed it on the fact that he couldn't afford meat. He left a suicide note, and actually blamed it on the diet and the fact that he couldn't afford to live on the diet that he had come to love so much. So he was an incredible guy. Again, Bernard Moncrief. So look him up. And also Arnaldo Catani. I think he was 1870s, possibly. I think he was a Hungarian who moved to Italy, and he was a very much like William Banting, very low carb. He was a doctor, and he treated a lot of illness through low carb. I'll send you. I can't remember. I probably haven't because I only just got you on WhatsApp, but I'll send you all of this stuff on WhatsApp. All of my research, so you can have it at your fingertips as well.
Yeah.
So so those are two other heroes of the 19th century. I think everybody here is probably familiar with William Banting, 1863, the Banting diet, prescribed to him by his doctor, Dr. William Harvey. Because he was trying to treat his deafness at the time, but because he thought that the deafness was probably caused by the fact that Banting was overweight. And so he prescribed him the Banting diet, and it worked incredibly well. Banting was so enthusiastic, he published it to the world, and it was a great success. So, yeah, there's another three heroes.
It's amazing. It's amazing. There's just so many of them. There's just so many of them, and probably many more that we haven't heard of.
Well, exactly, because when you think about it, the Banting book was so successful that there must have been, he must have had thousands and thousands of followers in this country, that all of whom were heroes in their own right. So just like,
and considering the time, like they didn't have social media back then, so it's not like like Baker and Kilty, they can build up a large following, so it's really just about as far as how far the book actually reached. And that could, back in those days, it would not have been that far,
No, precisely. But it was a bestseller.
Yeah.
Just a quick reference to chat. We got Sharon from Delaware in the chat. So hi, Sharon, one of my fellow Kilts health coaches. So America is coming in thick and fast now, DC. You've made it, mate.
Nice to see you, Sharon. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Yes. Always good to see more people. Yeah. Yeah, always. Very good. They're pretty good, actually. They do have courses. This is White Tiger Qigong. Part of the studying that I've been doing with the Shaolin monks. I'm qualified to do Shu Jing and these different techniques, and to teach these techniques as well. These movement and breathing techniques. So it's just really a matter of me, getting around to putting these onto. Problem is having a decent camera to actually film these things. But I will try and endeavor to bring these to you very soon. But the link I just put in the comment section there, the White Tiger Qigong is very good. Okay. So, actually, it's been great. Actually, I just want to thank everyone also who subscribed since talking to Kilty, because they're, it's good to see more people. It's always good to see more people come and join us for a conversation. And, if I can help in any way with not just, you're going to learn a lot from, probably don't need to hear me talk about carnivore so much, but certainly breathwork and other things, always glad to help.
Yeah, just a quick note on timing, GD. So this is a good time for the United States when you come on is it your Saturday morning? It's their Friday afternoon.
Oh, okay.
So this is 11 p.m. my time, so which means that is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 p.m. Central Time. So this is a good one. The one which doesn't work out quite so well is when you go on Sunday evening, because that's 9 a.m. for us, which means that is 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 3 a.m. Central Time.
So,
but there's nothing we can do about it because of the time difference, and I certainly don't want you mucking around with the time. Because it's 9 a.m. is very, very convenient for me. Apart from this weekend when I've got a breakfast appointment with an old army comrade of mine, but I'm here tonight. So, but yeah, it's it's a huge time difference, which has really meant that America hasn't cottoned to you. But if you can do these on a Friday at this time, then that is a very convenient time for America to catch up with you. As I said, 6 p.m., 5 p.m. So after work on a Friday. What better way to celebrate the end of the working week than hanging out with DC and Queensland?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, come hang out with the Aussies and
possibly George from Sunset if I can stay up that late. But no, what I do when I've got these 11 p.m.s is I have an 11 p.m. with Kerry on a Thursday evening, and with Kiltsy at 10:30 on a Monday. Is I actually do what I think Jonathan calls biphasal sleeping. So I'll grab a couple of hours and then come on and do the job and then go back to sleep for a few hours. So I have to split my sleeping. It's not good for your circadian rhythms. I'm sure that Dr. Sarah Pugh wouldn't approve of me whatsoever. But needs must, and it's taking one on the chin for the cause, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's
you get it when you can get it. Yeah. It's part of the course. Unfortunately, it's like this is it's a great thing about the social media is that we can chat from different countries, all around the world, different countries. You're in the UK and people are in America and here in Australia, but the problem is the time difference and the sleeping habits that involved can be a bit of a problem. But as you said, if you break up your sleep, as long as you get enough sleep, still, you should be good. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. I look forward to actually making them too, Diana. But if you have a look at, thank you for subbing. I really appreciate that. But if you have a look at some of the breathwork videos that I already have up, they can be very helpful as well. Okay, some very good techniques. I try to stick to because there are so many different techniques. Like honestly, I have. Let's see one. Okay, I've got these 2 books are completely full of different breathwork techniques. Okay, and there are many more, no doubt. So I try to give people the more time, efficient breathing techniques that are going to help you more bang for buck. Basically, it'll give you more physiological benefits rather than some of it is very psychological stuff as well. I recently did a qualification in hypnosis with breathwork because they use breathwork to enter a more hypnotic state so that you can be more suggestive and you can. It's good for. It can be used for bad things, but also used for motivation and that sort of stuff. It's kind of sports psychology sort of side of things. But for now, the only thing I can really give to people online or look on YouTube is short sessions that will give them good benefits physiologically. And actually, I did write about this. There was another good reason to do this. The breathwork, you get a lot of very good strength benefits. If you have a look in the description, there's a link to my Substack where I actually explain the benefits for producing to actually make you stronger. Breathwork will make your body stronger, boost your immune system, and physiologically wise will help you to build muscle and to build strength. So yeah, the reading's all there as well if you want it. It's free. The Substack's free. I don't charge anyone for it. So yeah. I'm impressed, George. Yeah, sprouting off those times like the international person you are. Yeah.
Just on that note, since I'm attending the Impact Festival in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in a couple of weeks' time. We are, I should say. Lainey hates it when I say I instead of we, because she is also coming with me. And Robin Heron, carnivorous grandma, has told me that she has unilaterally decided to promote me to the World Ambassador for Carnivore. So, as befits the title World Ambassador for Carnivore, I better know. I need to know my time differences so I can put people together, because that is I regard that as my role in the carnivore community. I'll leave the science to much more intelligent people like myself. Sorry, like DC and like Jonathan and Richard Smith and the doctors. I meanwhile we'll put people together and try and pull this community together. I have a saying that I have a global network now from California to Queensland and everywhere in between. So it's important that I know these time differences so I can actually put people together. So, but yeah, that's the reason. It's just part of my role in the. I was going to say job, but I don't get paid for it. It's part of my role. It's part of my role within the community, Sandy. So yeah. Thanks for noticing. I do appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you putting me on that list of some pretty great minds there, but yeah, I don't even compare to those fellas.
Yeah, Harry Sepanis, Professor Bart Kay.
Yeah, they're all brilliant guys actually. So yeah. Hey George, I'm coming for breakfast.
Yeah, this is what I mean by Lainey hates it when I say that I'm doing something which she's also going to do, and she absolutely hates it when I don't say we. Yeah, we are going for breakfast on Sunday to meet an old comrade of mine from the army. We are going to the Tudor Hotel, the #1 carnivore restaurant in the world, because they have absolutely adopted carnivore, and we will be having. They do a sort of build your own breakfast, so you can ignore all the plant food and just pick off the bacon, sausages, eggs, liver, grilled halloumi, and no seed oils. They do use seed oils, but they know that if the carnivores are coming, they clean down the grills and they use beef dripping. And then actually the chef prefers to use beef dripping. So that's really good. And also since the chef learned from me that there is ferrocyanide in table salt. For the carnivores, he provides the Himalayan rock salt. I know everybody's going to tell me heavy metals and mining and everything else, but at least it's better than table salt,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, you get what you can, there's never going to be perfect. But yeah, if you want, I mean, honestly, so far for me, I mean, from my experience, like the best carnivore friendly places to go is Yakiniku in Japan.
That's it. I think that's the plan. Is as you know, Dave. Hopefully, you'll go match in Japan, and we are going to come and visit you. I was talking to Setsuko this morning. She's down south somewhere, and she wants to come to England. She's very excited about the fact that you're going back, and that we were coming to visit you. And obviously, the plan is to meet up with Dave and Setsuko over in. Is that how you pronounce her name? Setsuko. Setsuko.
Setsuko, yeah.
Yeah, Setsuko. Yeah, so it'd be very exciting to go and meet Dave and Setsuko over down in Tokyo. And since I've mentioned it, there's one or two Americans sort of saying, "Oh, that sounds like a really good idea." So you never know. We might you might be hosting a significant tour.
That'd be good. That'd be great. Actually, that might be something I might end up doing. Actually, we'll just start doing carnivore tours around Japan.
Interestingly, you should say that, because I do have George tours in mind, and not necessarily just carnivore, but America. But I want to introduce the Americans to the idea that there is an England outside of London, and we'll start with Somerset, which is where I live. So yeah, George tours. I'm not sure if I've got. I'm not very good at business, but I do have some good business advisors around the world. Yeah. And if they tell me it's a go, and if they hold my hand, so to speak, for the first, well, that might happen as well. So that'd be cool. So it's not a bad idea, DC. And you're even younger than you're much younger than me, so that might be another string to your bow when you get back to Japan. Host, not again. Start with the carnivore communities. That's where you're known. But when they go back and start talking to their non-carnivore friends, you might find yourself just hosting wealthy Americans who want to visit Japan.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. I mean, honestly, there's so many beautiful places around Japan. I'd love to show people there and maybe.
Yeah, you sent me the photographs of the beaches the other day, and I was talking to one of my great American friends earlier, and I sneakily sent her those, and that's it. So she was very excited, and I want to come to Japan.
That was Matsushima. It's
yeah.
That was a beautiful place, beautiful place. Not far from where I used to live. But yeah, I mean, it was devastated by the tsunami, but it was, I mean, it's still just such a beautiful place. There's in that harbor, in that bay area, there's about 1,000 small islands. You can take ferry boats out to all these little islands and go, all these beaches are absolutely beautiful. Really beautiful place, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the devastation is quite quick to recover from, because, as you know, I served in the first Gulf War in '91. And there was a huge oil slick on the coast where the Iraqi released oil into the Gulf, and it was massively damaged. But I was looking at pictures of it the other day, and what was just barren desert when I was there is now a modern day beach resort. It's unrecognizable. Yeah. So yeah, these things, they can recover, and
they do. Yeah, nature is incredibly fast at recovery. It's a process that's always evolving. Like some of the more devastated places that when I was after the tsunami, and I was going out to these shelters to try and give food and clothing to some of the children that were left homeless. I mean, even then, where I'm talking entire suburbs, entire cities had been wiped off the map, and so much ground had been, ripped out of Japan. But even just a few months later, there was growth, there was regrowth. Plants were popping up out of the sand and out of all these devastated areas. And it's quite impressive to see, really, really impressive. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like we got Dr. Nelson visiting in the chat. So I'm not sure if you hear Dr. Nelson. I was telling DC about Bernard Moncrief and the philosophy of the stomach from 1854. I think you and I did a bit of work on it, Dr. Nelson. You produced one of your excellent videos on it. So yeah, that was a subject that we've already covered this evening. So yeah, thanks very much for your work that we did together on that one, Dr. Nelson.
I was going to say thank you very much, Mandra. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm definitely going to impact no room for any of George's clothes in the suitcase. Fair enough.
That's no problem. I'm only going what I'm standing up in, because basically both Kerry and Kilt will be taking their own merchandiser. So I should be buying my t-shirts when I get there.
Well, I was going to say you're going to have to wear a lot of clothes on the plane, mate, because you won't have any space in the suitcase.
Yeah, it's true. I suppose that is true. But no, that's the plan, to sort of go in the bare minimum, and then purchase the hats and the t-shirts when I actually get there. So
yeah, fair enough.
That's a good idea. When I used to work in the international world, I had a survival kit, which was like a ready-to-move kit at any time, which was basically a wallet containing a credit card, a driving license, and a passport. Because I discovered that if you got if you needed to move suddenly, that's all you need. Because you go and get in the airport, and then you get into departures, and you can buy everything you need in departures if you've got a company credit card, which I did, and it was a no questions asked credit card. Yeah. So it was so that's all you need to move around the world, really. The clothes you're standing up in, and a wallet containing those three items. Just a little travel hack there for everybody.
Yeah, Diana, very good point. Very good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The real Dr. Nelson, good to see you, mate. I haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. See, Amanda, I'm going to see DC. Yep. It'd be great to catch up with you guys in person, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, come to think of it, you and me, DC, there was one time when Dr. Nelson was doing his Tuesdays at 3 p.m. in his time. And one of his guests let him down. That was you and I actually jumped on. We had a good hour session with Dr. Nelson.
Yeah, I really like Dr. Nelson. He's really
absolutely
nice.
Well, he was my teacher. He was my teacher on the Kilt Health course. And as I told him, not only my teacher, but he's become my friend. So it's lovely to see him in chat.
Both brilliant guys too. Really, really, really clued on. So it's good. Yeah, not many better teachers actually. So it's good. Yeah.
Okay, so DC, do you want to move on to what got me on here, which was
sure. What's next?
Okay, so we're going to go back to the 19th century, and we're going to go back to look at a fictional character called Harry Flashman. It's kind of become a bit of a Flashman as a Flash Harry is in the English language. Flashman himself was the bully in Thomas Hughes's book, Tom Brown's School Days. Tom Brown was kind of a Victorian hero.
Hold it a bit closer so the light doesn't shine on it.
Okay, can you see? I can't.
Just tilt it forward.
Forward.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go. Yeah, perfect. Tom Brown's School Days. Thomas Hughes. Yeah.
By Thomas Hughes. It was quite a famous book in its time. It was about the rugby school where the game of rugby originated from. Yep. And Tom Brown was kind of a real good hero, a real well-behaved young man and the perfect character. Flashman was the bully. He was a drunk, and he was Tom Brown's nemesis because he was older. And in the end, Flashman got so drunk that he got caught by the headmaster, Arnold, and got expelled from a rugby school where he disappeared into oblivion as far as everybody is concerned until George MacDonald Fraser in this century decided to rediscover him in 1842 and decided that he would actually use him as a character to tell the Victorian history. So he put him in the army, and then in 1842, and then he was very active right up until his 90s, if you like. This is a fictional character, remember, but he managed to place him in nearly every significant part of Victorian history. Flashman was one that wanted to be lazy. He wanted to hang around London and do nothing. But he kept on getting himself into trouble. And either that week he got sent by the Crown to various parts of the world. And one book, which in particular, which you maybe think of it, is his Adventures in the Wild West, which was split between, he was both a 49er and a 76er. And in 49, he was on the trail, the wagon trail, because he was escaping from the East, where he was a wanted man. And he met up with a lady of the night, a bordello owner, who wanted to move west because that was where the money was, because she wanted to chase the gold in California. So he upped with her and followed the wagon train west. So the book here, if I can, I'm trying to do everything backward. Flashman and the Redskin. It's by George MacDonald Fraser. So yeah, part of the book, I think that he decides to leave the wagon train and escapes into the night and meets up with some Mexican bandit type people. And there was something called the Proyecto de Guerra at the time, the war project against the Apache people. And these were basically bounty hunters. So they were scalp hunters. So they would go and kill innocent Apaches if there was obviously a war going on at the time. And then the government would pay them for the scalps they produced. They had one of these scalping parties. It went horrendously wrong, and Flashman got captured by the Apaches and was going to be tortured to death until one of the tribe, the princess of the tribe, if you like, took a fancy to him and decided to marry him. So he got integrated into the tribe on her say-so. And best man at their wedding was Geronimo. It had to be, really, didn't it? Because he was the Apache. But Geronimo introduced him to the Sweat Lodge. And he describes the Sweat Lodge. I mean, MacDonald Fraser researches. He was a brilliant man. He was actually he's dead now, but he was actually served in Burma during the Second World War. So he was he had quite a bit of experience there. He's written those down in a factual book called Quartered Safe Out Here. But the Flashman and the Redskins, that is a very good description of a Sweat Lodge. Now, as I said, Flashman was at every major military action, including the Battle of the Little Bighorn in 1876. He was the sole white survivor of that, with Custer.
He was probably on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because basically what it was is that he was such a rascal that he managed with a with a lady, shall we say, a lady of the night. He managed to produce a son called Frank Standing Bear, who was living with with an Indian tribe. And Frank Standing Bear knew that Flashman was his father, was at the Battle of the Little Bighorn, and actually sort of managed to evacuate Flashman from the battlefield under the cover of darkness. And so that was how Flashman. That was how McDonald Fraser managed to place Flashman at Custer's last stand, but still managed to get him off the battlefield to tell the tale. It's an incredible story. You know, if anybody's got any sensitivities about sort of a real rascal, because he was all about drinking, gambling, horses, and fast ladies, shall we say, then it might not be for you. But if you've got an adult sense of humor and you're interested in history, he started at in Afghanistan at the retreat from Kabul, when the entire British Army got wiped out on the retreat from Kabul, or a British Army got wiped out.
Yeah.
The last stand at Gandamak, the 44th at Gandamak, he was at the charge of the Light Brigade at Balaclava. Accidentally led it. Still managed to survive it. Again, got
accidentally lead a charge.
Absolutely. Well, because he lost control of his horse.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That was so basically his horse bolted with him, so he accidentally found himself leading the charge of the Light Brigade, because that was bad horsemanship on his part, basically. And where else was he? He was in the American Civil War, but unfortunately McDonald Fraser actually died before he could write that book, so we can only infer stuff, because he knew Custer. And he actually fought on both sides of the Civil War. We do know that he was both a Confederate and a Unionist. And Abraham Lincoln repeatedly said that when all other trusts fail, turn to Flashman. And yeah, he was in China with Charlie Gordon. I think he was at the Battle of Khartoum with Gordon. Yeah, he was everywhere. But McDonald Fraser managed to insert him into history.
Yeah.
So that he could tell the history through the eyes of a primary source, but a fictional primary source.
Kind of sounds
highly recommended if your sensibilities aren't too delicate, shall we say, when it comes to Flashman's pursuit.
Similar to Tintin.
Sorry?
Kind of sounds similar to Tintin, you know.
Apart from, of course, that Tintin was a very clean living young man, whereas Flashman was anything but a clean living young man.
Kind of an upgraded version.
Yeah, exactly. They were an adult version.
Downgraded version, whichever way you look at it.
Adult version. So, you know, so it was a fact that he was such a rascal, which enabled him to escape from the Little Bighorn, because one of his illegitimate children was fighting on the other side, shall we say. So, so it's highly recommended. George McDonald Fraser, the Flashman series. Flashman and the Redskins is the one which we featured tonight, but that's well down the line.
I wonder, actually, the way you're explaining it, I'm wondering if that had any influence on the Indiana Jones movies.
It's entirely possible.
Because I mean, young Indiana Jones all the way up to the top. It's a very
I'm trying to think when these books. I'm trying to think when these books were written. Actually, right, okay. So a singular feature of the Flashman Papers, the memoirs of the notorious bully of Tom Brown's school days, which were discovered in a Leicestershire sale room in 1966. So McDonald Fraser decided to embark upon this project in 1966, which obviously was definitely a precursor of Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And it was post Ian Fleming, I think. Kind of Flashman was kind of I wonder whether Bond might have been the inspiration for Flashman, because basically Flashman was the ladies' man and the spy and the international man of mystery in the 19th century. So I wonder whether he was a knock-on from James Bond, and then subsequently the Bond and he might have spawned other characters, like Shaft, for example. He was another one that might have sort of been a knock-on effect from those. Yeah, interesting. I hadn't thought of
that. Just catch up some of these chats again. Hey, Bella, it's good to see you. Yeah, Australia is quite a beautiful place, but it's it is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful world, really. So, gotta go, Josephine. Okay, take care, mate. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Always good to see you. Hey, Lenny, I live a few minutes from Disney World in Florida. Cool.
Oh, there we go. There's the solution, Laney. But we're going to go and visit. But we do intend to go and visit Florida on our world tour a few years down the line. Now we certainly got Dr. Nelson on the list, and it's like we've got better on the list as well, and Rick and John and because Florida, I think, is there a local law that you have to be a carnivore to live in Florida? Because Florida seems to be the most carnivore. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, everyone's staying at Bella's place then, because it's close to the Disney World. Yeah, we'll all invite ourselves over there.
Yeah. I've got an idea. Sandy might be Florida as well. I think she Chrissy's California. I think Sandy might be Florida.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Well, it's one place actually I would like to go sometimes. Like parts of there's many parts of America I'd like to see actually.
Yeah, I told you the other day, mate. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
Well, that's true.
But I told the world last Sunday evening over here that I am now at the age of 60, embarking in the first year of what I regard now as another 25-year career, because I intend to be active up until the age of 85, the way I feel now. So I'm actually starting on a new career at the age of 60, which will probably be. I don't think I'm never going to make money out of what I'm doing here. So what I'm going to do is stay. Obviously, I'm going to pick up my state pension. The mortgage will be gone in 4 years' time. So with no mortgage and a state pension, anything I earn from work can be reinvested back into travel around the world. And I hope to do 2 long-haul trips a year after the age of 67, which is 6 years away. So, watch this space, DC, because, I will be encouraging. I will be encouraging people to meet up and from Australia. Jeannie is coming to Impact with us this year. And if you want to travel to America and watch, I'll give you mine and Laney's schedule when the time comes, and we can all turn up on Dr. Nelson and Bella's doorstep together, can't we? And give them a lovely surprise.
Yeah.
Hello, guys.
We come to stay for a week. It's at Disney World.
We brought our own steaks.
Yeah. Where's the barbecue?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just show us the way to the barbecue. We'll be happy.
We'll be happy.
Throw another shrimp on the barbie, mate.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, one of the things I'd really love to do actually be a tour, the Route 66 tour. We go from across America.
Okay, mate. Well, as you know, my expression is I make things happen. If you want to do Route 66, me and Laney will join you on that, and we can pick up quite a few of our friends on the way. Yeah. How old are you now? You're young, aren't you? You're
53.
53. So in 6 years' time, when I'm 67 and we'll be free to travel around the world, you'll be a mere 59. So you'll have plenty of energy to come and join me and Laney on our world tour. So it'd be great.
I hope to be 59. I hope to be 59.
Oh yeah, you will be. Yeah, positive thinking. Come on, DC. Positive mentality. You will be 59.
We'll see.
Because I'm not allowing you to go anywhere. So great. So let's let's make this happen, shall we?
No, for sure.
This is going to happen because I'm going to make it happen, and we can actually have these people. There'll be this constant world tour going on that people can dip in and out of as they wish to.
Yeah, that would be
awesome. You can host Australia and Japan, or I can host the UK.
Yeah,
and then we will tell people over in America who's going to be hosting us when we come to visit them.
Actually, I would, now that you're thinking about it, you got me thinking. That's something I would really like to do, is have maybe a health retreat in Japan.
Yeah.
We could, there's just such a beautiful place, and everything is so close because it's so small, like compared to Australia. Like it's very easily accessed. All these things are very easily accessed. So it's not very far to go to even in Tokyo. If you go to Tokyo, like an hour outside of Tokyo, you're in the mountains and forests and things like that.
Yeah.
But it'd be good. Have a carnivore and breath work and ice bars.
I mean, this is taking off around the world now, DC. Do you know Stephen Lashbrook, Coach Stephen Lashbrook?
No.
The psoriatic arthritis, 95% psoriasis all his life, suicidal for most of his life, got the carnivore diet and totally cleared up. He was in Healing Humanity. Lash is a very good friend of mine from the coaching course. He has an idea for a carnivore retreat as well in Florida. He's actually in Florida at the moment. Yeah. That's his dream as well. Over here in the UK, we now have Girdle Bridge Farm with Lydia Powell and her husband Tom, which is a farm, and they're turning that into our carnivore HQ here in the UK. Myself and Lainey and many other familiar names such as Louise Benning will be gathering there for a social on September the 26th. Not a conference, because I am completely conference fatigued. I've sat through so many lectures now, my bum is completely numb from hard chairs. But Lydia, I think, is feeling the same way herself, and she's holding a party on September the 26th. So no scientific talk, no speakers, just people getting together for a good chat, a dance maybe, and a barbecue. And myself and Lainey are very much looking forward to going to that, because we're all conferenced out really. Apart, we're going to go to Kalamazoo and enjoy that. But
it's something to be said for you don't really need to go for information, but just a bit of a social gathering and relax.
Exactly, that's right. And it's starting to take off in the UK. The idea of carnivores can get together without the science necessarily, and that I'm all in favour of that, because I've spent nothing but the thousands upon thousands of hours over the last 4.5 years researching.
Even if you do something like a boot camp where you don't have to go through all the science and all the lectures, you just do the activities, have fun as well, and do some of the activities, jump in the ice, do some breath work, and then spend the rest of the day doing other things,
Yeah. My original friend in the carnivore community was Larry Allhands, carnivore soldier.
Larry's a good guy.
Yeah, a really good guy. He's too busy driving his Porsche and having fun. I'm still friends with him on Facebook, but he doesn't do carnivore soldier anymore. But he said that in order to drive a car, he used to be Jeeps, he's now Porsches, you don't have to know what's happening under the bonnet. You only have to know how to work the pedals and the steering wheel. Exactly. That was his analogy about doing the carnivore diet without knowing about the ratios, the electrons, the pathways, and everything else. He said,
that's right. You don't need to know how it works to operate it. No one, you don't really know how your mobile phone works, but you still operate it.
Exactly. Yes, it's very true. Yeah.
So
that's you don't need to know the science. You don't need to know what happens under the hood. Exactly. You just have to know how to operate the pedals and the levers. So
just rely on the fact that it works.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do. I when people are talking about what ratio should I be eating, what electrolytes should be having, how much sleep should I get, I just eat fatty meat and I eat it raw and it works. So it's I don't count calories, I don't count macros, I don't count ratios, don't count electrolytes. I don't. Yeah, I just eat the meat. I've got it down to real basics now.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't do recipes. My idea of a recipe is to chuck a raw steak on a plate, cover it in salt, and eat it. And if I'm feeling a bit luxurious, I'll cover it with melted butter. And that's my idea.
The most complicated thing I cook is scrambled eggs with chicken stock. And I just call that the family reunion, and that's all I have. The rest is just either chuck the steak in the air fryer or fry pan
that's too complicated for me, DC. To actually apply heat is a complicated process. Just chuck the damn thing on the plate, cut its horns off, wipe its ass, and shove it on the plate. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. Fair enough. Fair enough. Bella's saying that they've got Sean Baker there now, and I think he used to live in California, but he probably moved to Florida.
Oh my God! Is there anybody in Florida who isn't a carnivore? That's what I'm saying. Is there some local bylaw which says you have to be Florida to live? Carnivores live in Florida. Rick Rodriguez, Nelson, I think Kilks himself spends a lot of time. I'm sure Sandy's there. Bella's there.
Yeah, Bella's up for us visiting, so that's good.
Yeah. There's plenty to eat down there, according to Rick. There's plenty of iguanas.
Lenny's coming to stay with you, Bella. Cynthia's had to go. It's good to see you, mate. It's really good to see you again. Always good to catch up with you guys. So thanks for joining us, Cynthia. Appreciate it. I've missed your lives, David, and our carnival friends here. Well, hopefully I'll try and keep it more regular basis, but it's we'll just see.
Yeah, I say my advice to you is to keep this time slot on a Saturday morning on account of the fact that you're catering for your American friends at the end of their working week on Friday. So
yeah,
this is a good time slot. Me and Lainey don't mind. What we do, as I say, we went to bed at about 7 p.m. this evening and got up at 10:30. So it's now the time is now 20 to 1 in the morning here. But because we've had that, we can fit it into our schedule as well. For our American friends, this is a really, really good time slot. Because obviously your Sunday evening is very difficult for them because it works out about 3 o'clock in the morning for them, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, okay. So I'll have to rearrange my schedule a bit. Laney's saying George doesn't dance. He does the army one step. you left, right?
You dance if I'm wearing a pair of combat boots. It's very true.
Yeah, but I was saying, simplicity rules. This is it. I mean, it's interesting. To me, it's very interesting. I love the biochemistry behind all these things that we do. Like, I love doing the research on the cold therapy, the breath work, and everything that we do, all these biohacks and so on. But you don't, like you said, you don't need to know all that. You don't need to know how the body is working to do these things. You can just do it and just rely on the fact that the body is reacting, and you can feel it. You can feel the difference. When you feel good. It's simple. Very, very simple. And this is people keep asking me, what should I buy? Should I buy this? Should I buy that? And this stuff is free. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to go outside, sit on the grass, and do some breath work. It costs you nothing to have a cold shower. In fact, you're going to save some money because you're not turning on the heat.
I say we went to the beach last Saturday, which is why I'm itching because of the sunburn. But that cost us the cost of just 80 miles worth of fuel, 7 English pounds for parking for the day. But then the beach itself was free, and the grounding, the sunshine, the cold therapy in the Atlantic, and the breath work when the breath work is involved. When the Atlantic meets you, the bits that hang off you in the middle, believe me, the breath work is involuntary.
Absolutely.
But then if you've been studying DC, once that involuntary first breath is over, then you actually concentrate on your actual controlled breathing, which enables you then to immerse yourself in the Atlantic, which is something I swore I'd never do again. But no, for the first time in 20 years and 1 month, I actually went and immersed myself in the Atlantic last Saturday. So a bit of cold water therapy, grounding, some breath work.
And that's as cold as you need it. That's as cold as you need it. But it's just a natural thing. I mean, I
wouldn't want it any colder, DC. I can assure you of that. Believe me.
Yeah.
But as you know, before I changed my name to Nobody's Here, I was Purple Coconuts, which is a long story. But as Lainey pointed out, those purple coconuts, once they met the Atlantic, became blue hazelnuts. So
you find 2 extra lumps in your throat.
Yes, exactly.
I don't need to Canada. Fair enough. Yeah.
Hi, Annabella. Lovely to see you.
I think Bella. I think it depends on how hungry you get. If that's the only thing you have on the menu, then you'll eat it. Army one step. Let me see. Definitely agree. If I don't have a cold shower every morning, I definitely feel very sluggish. Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know the history of that, on February the 1st, DC was on and was talking about cold showers, and Lainey decided to go and experiment with the cold shower on February the 1st. You could hear the screaming from down here, but since then she's had a cold shower every day since February the 1st, and
That's
absolutely DC is responsible for that.
Yeah, it's great that you took that on board. I mean, like I said, it's when it comes to helping people succeed, it's really it always comes down to the person actually taking that on board and actually putting that into practice. So I'm really glad that it's helped you, Lainey, because it's I know people don't seem to think that, like I always say, they always talk themselves out of these things as well. Like, I can't do cold, I can't handle the cold, sort of thing. It's not like I love the cold, but it's very effective, and it works. I also love being warm, but 1 to 5 minutes out of 24 hours is not much,
That's very true.
So, it's all good.
Yeah, I absolutely. I'm one of these people who says, "Do as I say, not as I do," because I try and follow DC, but then I sort of bottle it at the last minute. And when it comes to breath work, I try and focus on it, but when the day takes over, you can't focus on it. So yeah, do as DC says, not as I do. That's
yeah. Well, motivation. I mean, these are all habits that we build. When you build a habit, it's the same. I mean, and sure, I fall in and out of these habits every now and then, but it's, I'm slightly more motivated to do these things because I really have to, I have to keep my body moving, to keep these things operating. Otherwise, my blood, my platelets and everything just drop very, very rapidly. Even now, like I'm 11 and a half years in remission, these are measurable differences that I see in my blood work. If I don't do these things, there is a dramatic drop in my platelets and my white cells and my hemoglobin, everything. So it's very good motivation for me to continue to do these things for the rest of my life. Yeah.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good strong why, as we say, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, talking about the motivations, it's quite good to have an accountability partner. And I found myself, one of my accountability partners is Manda, actually, the carnivore, and she lives in Wisconsin. But she's recently completed the Kilts Health coaching course, and I gave her 1 or 2 bits of advice during it. She actually completed it in 10 days because she's young and very, very quick with to do the typing and that. We actually do have fairly regular contact on Messenger now, and I know that she's very quick with the typing because I will send a laborious message to her, and then I will see, she's typing for about 30 seconds, and I'll get a complete book from her where she's typed in 30 seconds. And she's, as you know, she's very keen on the breathwork, so I sent her a couple of good basic instructional videos on box breathing and also resonance breathing, which I discovered by myself. Which is good. And now you've introduced wave breathing to me tonight, so I'm going to go and research that, and probably myself and Amanda will next week discuss that across the Atlantic. She is incredibly enthusiastic. I absolutely adore her. She's young, only in her 40s, so she's a future, and she's got 5 children. So she and her children, these are sort of people that we should. I'm an old man now at 60. We need the next generation, and I think Manda represents that, and I'm doing my best to. I say we've become kind of accountability partners, which is a good thing. So it's she keeps me honest, makes me think about breathing and that sort of thing. So it's
good.
We've got this wonderful community. We just inspire each other, don't we? Really?
Well, yeah. Well, we try to, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So, well, we do. Let's be honest with it. We do. You're an inspiration to me, man. I'm going to go and see Louise Benning, our friend. We are going to go and see Louise Benning tomorrow. Louise is again a world ambassador. She's an ambassador to the Noakes Foundation and to the Public Health Collaboration.
Very good.
We're just having a nice day out with her because, but there will be some carnivore talk, no doubt, and some ambassador talk. It's kind of a working holiday, if you know, a working day out. So, so that'll be really good. But she's a massive inspiration to me. I always say that in the carnivore world, it's where your heroes become your friends, because it's when I was first coming, like people like yourself and Kilts and Kerry were just names and faces that but gradually over the time I've integrated in the community, and now I can call all these people I just mentioned actually my friends now. So and we are friends with, even if we never met, that as soon as you meet a carnivore, you tend to become friends straight away.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
still are a minority out there. People like Christy who chat earlier.
We all have at least one thing in common: the fact that we're trying to partake or share some, a bit of hopefully information that will help us to all be healthy. As one thing we all have in common, we all want to be healthy.
We are all critical thinkers, and we are all prepared to think outside the box, the establishment box.
Yeah,
this is a revolution in many ways.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm a revolution.
Absolutely is. Yeah, it absolutely is.
I don't describe myself as a Republican or anything, but I do describe myself as anti-establishment.
Yeah, for sure.
And by that I mean the mainstream medical industrial complex.
Yeah.
So I think everybody
and
everybody is I think anybody who embarks upon this has to be by very definition anti-establishment, because we are working against the establishment.
Exactly. So, we are indeed. Annabella, so good to see you, my friend. I haven't seen you for a while, so I hope you are well. I hope you've settled in and everything's going well for you. My breath rate went out the window. I tripped over a rock and went straight under at the beach. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Thank you, DC and George and chat. See some of you at Grandma's later. Yeah, excellent. Oh, Annabella, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Shiva dog shaking his body from left to right. Oh, okay, yeah. So, thank you, Annabella, for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hey, Lainey. I do cold at the end of the shower. Yeah, I mean it's a great way to start. It doesn't have to be very long. Like like I said, 1 to 5 minutes is all you need. And if a cold shower is all you have, then that's a great way to do it. And that's I did that for many years before I got an ice bath. And so like it's not as good, but it can be just as effective by as long as you you spend the time and get yourself cold. And it's really just about being cold.
DC, while we're here, remind us of the man who put you on. It was Thomas somebody, wasn't it? I can't remember his surname now.
Thomas Seeger.
Seeger, that's right. Because I always think of Thomas Seyfried, but of course it's not. It's Thomas Seeger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I saw the interview that he did with him. So yeah, that's where it's a few months ago now, wasn't it? So if you go onto DC's channel and go back, you'll find the interview, which it must have been before February. So it must be around Christmas time, I'd imagine. So if anybody hasn't seen it, then scroll back down through the videos until you find. How do you spell his surname? Can you remember?
Seager, I think.
Seeger. Okay, yeah.
Off the top of my head.
There we go.
Yeah, he's really good. He has a Substack as well. He's actually coming out with. He's a doctor, a professor in engineering. He's actually founder of Morozko Forge ice baths as well.
Okay.
And he's written a few books on this, like Uncommon Testosterone, and because that's why he originally got into the ice baths, to try and boost his testosterone levels. But once he's delved into the research, now he's sort of right into it, and he does a lot of good. He does put out a lot of good information about this stuff as well. So it's worth doing. He actually wrote about, there's a number of studies that show cold being very beneficial for brown adipose tissue, and I mean there's many reasons why you want to activate brown adipose tissue, but for cancer patients in particular, they didn't put them into cold water submersion or cold showers or ice baths, but they did put them into cold rooms. And it's really just being cold that activates the brown adipose tissue. So you don't really have to have a cold shower as long as you spend some time being cold. Even if if it's winter and it's snowing outside, go outside in a pair of shorts and t-shirt or something like that. And you're going to have the same effect.
Get arrested. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, try to avoid that, but yeah, it does. I mean, it's just that cold water is just a very quick and easy way to do it. Okay, so that's why the whole ice bath and that sort of stuff and cold showers work. It's just a very quick and easy way to get there. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bella, maybe I will try the cold shower, but I'm so intolerant to cold water. Everyone's got that same butt, right? Everyone's got that same butt. I don't like the cold, and you're talking yourself out of it. And like I said, ease yourself into it. Just lower the temperature, like each day, lower the temperature more and more and more. And it's really about training your autonomic nervous system. So this is another benefit about being in the cold, is that you are training your nervous system to cope with stresses. This is a short acute stressor to the body. Okay, so yes, you do raise cortisol, and that's not a bad thing. It's a natural reaction. But this is why timing comes into it as well. The reason why it's more benefit, like you'll get more benefit by doing it first thing in the morning, okay, because cortisol is your wake up hormone. So you feel very much alert after you've had your cold shower. And then you do breath work to warm yourself up again. All right. So when you've cooled yourself down, so you've gotten rid of all that inflammation from the day before, then you warm yourself up again afterwards and get everything circulating, your lymphatic system and everything like that circulating again, which I've done numerous videos about. But that to me is why that is the best time to do it, first thing in the morning. Okay, so you wake yourself up, but you're also training your autonomic nervous system to deal with that stressor. So whenever other stresses come into your life, you are training your nervous system to deal with that, to cope with that. So it's not such a big deal. Okay, you just feel a lot calmer throughout the rest of the day because you've already gone through that initial stress of the morning. That's job done. First job of the day done, and you feel much more positive about getting the rest of the day, getting through the rest of the day. So there's a lot of benefits to doing it. I've walked 4 days in a row. Excellent, Annabella, awesome. That's fantastic. You're getting mobile again. That's great to hear. That's really good. Good on you, mate. That's legendary. Absolute champion. Absolute champion. Like it's honestly amazing the difference it makes. It is, yeah, it is amazing. Yeah, good on you, Lainey. Yeah, it's a simple thing. Like I say, like it's just very simple things that don't cost you, any or if much money. Okay, there's not much money involved. It's such a simple environment. Like these things are always provided for us. We never had hot water or heating and stuff like 100 years ago, and we bathed in the rivers and waterfalls and everything like that. It was all icy cold water, but we did it. Our bodies are adapted to deal with what we have in the environment. Yeah. I do notice when I go to cold weather climates, my skin is better and have much less inflammation. I live in the wrong state for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, you just have to. I mean, even in Florida, there are cold waters. If you go into the ocean and things like that, especially like in winter, the water is still quite cool. So you will find that it may not be as cold, but it will still be beneficial. And it really does lower the inflammation, which is why it also good for when you do the cold in the morning. You've lowered your inflammation throughout the rest of the day. You won't have so many aches and pains when you go to work, or you go to the gym, or do any kind of exercise or movement sort of thing. So that it really does help to get you through the day.
Yeah, I mean, and also Florida's got the Everglades as well, of course. Lots of nice cold water lakes. There's nothing dangerous in there, isn't there? What's the worst could happen if you go in the Everglades? No, nothing like alligators or anything like that.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe I believe the latest invasive species is the giant rock pythons as well. So
I think so I mean, that'd be good training for your autonomic nervous system as well. How to deal with alligator,
pythons,
wrestle an alligator or a python.
Yeah, but you're up in Queensland. Do you ever go up to the Northern Territory for a quick swim in the up in the Northern Territory there with the salties?
North Queensland has a lot of crocodiles too, actually. So, we have saltwater crocodiles. Actually, I've been up in Cairns, and they've even in Cairns, there's been crocs actually wash up on the beach. So,
fair enough.
Some big buggers too. Crocodiles are much bigger than alligators. Alligators are babies.
Yeah, compared to crocs, I think the salties are the biggest crocs in the world. I think they're bigger than the Nile crocodiles as well, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, they're huge. They're huge. I think the largest one that actually does. There was one caught like in the early 1900s. There was one caught in the Brisbane River, which is actually down near Brisbane, actually. So, really, that's probably one of the furthest south that crocs ever been. But it was so big. There was 25 men lined up along, to show the length of it. How big it was. It was massive, absolutely massive. They are huge.
Australia is such a great place. If the salties don't get you, then the great whites will, and if the great whites don't get you, then the funnel-web spiders will. It's how do any of you survive over there, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like 3 out of the top 5 deadliest spiders in the world live in Australia, and 5 out of the top 10 deadliest snakes. So,
and you sound so proud of it, mate.
Well, they're just my neighbors, mate. They're just my neighbors. But
we have one poisonous snake in this country, the adder, a very small viper, and it's. I think you'd have to have anaphylactic shock to get killed by it. It is dangerous, but it's it is a hospital case, but it's we're short on dangerous animals over here, really. So which is probably a good
apart
thing,
from the crocs, though. Like there's also the cassowary, the bird.
I've heard of them.
They kill people as well.
Aren't they specialist feeders on a particular seed or something? Cassowaries?
No, they're very much carnivore. They only eat meat pretty much, and they're rainforest. They're rainforest. They look like a little bit shorter than an emu, but they look very much like a dinosaur. They have a like a ridge sort of mohawk.
Yeah, I see one in the zoo. I have seen one in the zoo.
Yeah, and really large, sharp talon on the inside of their feet. They've actually killed more people in Australia than crocodiles.
Really? Okay, yeah.
I mean, it's a fun place to live, mate.
You look at them. Yeah, exactly.
Lainey's saying she always used to have really hot showers, but now I can tolerate. I couldn't tolerate one. Yeah, it's amazing. It really does not take long for you to train yourself to cope with the cold. I'm always with the cold. Everyone says that. Yeah, I never liked it either. And like back in the day when I was going through the tsunami and trying to survive the earthquake in Japan, it was so cold. It was the middle of winter. It was the first few days it was snowing. I just didn't have a shower. All right, I didn't. I mean, we didn't have water at first anyway, so it actually took a long time. It took like a month or so to get water back anyway, and that was where we had to stay at the time. But when we eventually did, there was no electricity or gas to heat the water. My wife, like, I think she was part penguin, because she just, I mean, or at least half Eskimo, because she just got in straight in the cold water and didn't bother her at all. But not me. I was a big wuss. I was never going to touch the cold water, But now, I jump in the ice every morning, and it's great. I love it. Just enjoy it. It's actually, I find it quite calming now. Yeah. All right. How many? Oh, hang on. So I just swap my camera over. There we go. I'm back. Okay. How many minutes do you do? I do roughly around 5 minutes. That's for myself. But you don't really need to do anything more. Like, a rule of thumb is that the water needs to be cold enough to gasp. Okay, so you get that initial gasp, all right, and long enough to chill, long enough to shiver. Okay, so if just stay in the water long enough for you to shiver a bit, okay, you get the shivers and the goosebumps, and then that's long enough. Okay, you don't need more than a few minutes. Anywhere between 1 and 5 minutes is enough. Okay, and out of 24 hours, that's really not much. Oh, Laney, 5 GBP. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that very much. Thank you, Laney. I appreciate that. I like walking in the cold. Yeah, I mean, that's another good way to do it. Like I said, being outside in the cold, don't rug up, don't put on the jumpers and beanies and keep yourself warm, sort of thing. Yeah, this is just as effective. Okay, there are many ways to do it. The water is just quicker and easier. That's all. So, I did a cold weather marathon years ago. Oh, cool. It was great. Oh, awesome, Bella. Yeah, it's a great way to do it too. Like, people like Wim Hof, he has world records for running through the Arctic and places like that, in just shorts and t-shirt, or even actually without a shirt. So, you don't have to be in the water. That's for having George. That's for having George on, and peace for me.
Yeah, she's at the kitchen table. I'm in my office, and so we've.
You should come on more regularly than George. You should come on more regularly, George. I'll make a lot more money that way.
I think you would.
Yeah. Good on you, mate. Good to see you. I had my dad's head in my voice. I had my. Okay, I'm assuming you mean I have my dad's voice in my head, Annabella. Yeah, about getting cold in winter and catching your death. Yeah.
Catching cold. Yeah, that's my grandma's voice in my head.
Yeah. You catch your death of cold. Yeah, old wives' tale, But that we've survived a millennia of ice ages and winters, European winters and more in the cold. The species has survived through all of that. So there's a reason for that. Okay. Apart from eating the meat and everything like that, but we are adapted to the cold, and the cold is very good for you. In small doses, don't get me wrong. Don't go and spend, you strip off and sit in the snow for the whole day or night, sort of thing. That's chronic elevation. That's chronic, time, and that can just lead to a whole lot of other problems. Okay, so just small doses. Okay. I'm seeing chiropractors every week. Okay, very good. Well, I hope that's working out for you, Annabelle. I've seen the chiropractor 4 weeks in a row. They want me to go 8 weeks in a row. Well, I hope it's working for you, mate. I really do. I used to see a chiropractor when I was younger. I had a lot of back issues when I was a teenager, and had a twisted spine. But that can be quite effective. But I think especially I think in your situation, be very good, actually, very effective. Yeah. You're most welcome. It's so good to see you here in the live stream, David. Thank you. We love you too. I love you too, Annabella. It's always great to see you. Always. Yeah. I'm having lamb shanks for dinner tonight. It's something different, eh? It's a bit of lamb.
10 times the omega-3 of beef, apparently. Lamb.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. And very fatty too, because they're so young. Yeah. But yeah, they're fantastic. So yeah. Is it? I'm scared of saltwater koalas. Yeah, koalas are vicious little buggers too, actually. People don't understand. Yeah, like drop bears. Drop bears in Australia. Yeah, koalas, they've got really long tongues, actually, and they can be quite aggressive, Oh, Bella Girl, thank you very much. I really appreciate the super sticker. 5 USD. Wow. Yeah, it's been a very profitable morning. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Yeah. Pair character holding. Oh, okay. Yeah, pair character. Super sticker. Thank you very much, Bella. I appreciate that. Really do. Let's see. Fly spray kills all the spiders. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just spray along, spray them all. Yeah, spray them everywhere. Little bugger things. Yeah. Then he says, I've been dealing with something that would have normally affected my mental health quite badly this past 2 weeks, but my brain is now dealing with it all really well, thanks to brain training. Excellent. Very good, Laney.
That stress, can I just point out, that is not just being married to me. There is something else going on as well.
All right. Well, I hope it's not too big a deal, but yeah,
we're dealing with it. It's no problem.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, like I said, these are putting yourself through these small stresses helps you to cope with bigger stresses. And it can be quite stressful in the body temporarily. In acute situation, you jump in the ice or to have cold shower or do breath work. These are all very much that way. But like I said, you're training your nervous system to cope with that. Our closest beach, New Smyrna, is that right?
Smyrna, that's right, yeah.
Smyrna
I think Smyrna isn't that a biblical town? Smyrna is mentioned in the Bible, so New Smyrna is obviously named after that, I think.
Yeah.
Well, it's in the Mediterranean somewhere anyway, maybe Turkey.
Yeah. Has the most shark bites. Okay. Yeah. Don't go to that beach then.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, like Florida is very much like Queensland in like tropical climate, and so lots of sharks and lots of or alligators in your case, and crocodiles up here, and we've got along my coast is the Great Barrier Reef. That stretches from pretty much down all the way down to Sydney, all the way up to the tip of Cairns. So there's we get a lot of reef sharks and things like that. Yeah, I mean they're everywhere. So, but I mean, generally speaking, people get bitten every now and then, but it's pretty rare.
Talking of Florida, well, I think we've got another gentleman who might be in Florida at the moment just joined us in the chat, so which is very nice to see. Dr. Kiltz.
Oh, hey, really, Dr. Kiltz?
Yeah, he's here.
There aren't really a lot of spiders in the suburbs. No, that's true. I mean, not so many deadly ones. Yeah. About where I am, like in the countryside, they're all over the place. So, and not to mention you got rats and everything else as well. So, I need hot water to help with pain. Yeah. I mean, heat's good too. Heat is also a very good stressor as well. Like saunas are fantastic. For different reasons as well. Yeah. So it's good to be. I mean, it's good to use the heat. It's good to use the cold. You have these fluctuations. It's fantastic. Lamb shanks.
Absolutely.
30 minutes from New Smyrna Beach. The real destination. Okay.
DC, Dr. Nelson has given us a great clue there when we
Yeah,
invade.
I think so.
We know where we're looking at. We're looking within the 30s.
Yeah,
it's a beach, so there's only a half circle to actually track them down. So
maybe be careful, Dr. Nelson. You're going to have a whole heap of people walk up at your door soon.
Knock on your door. G'day,
mate. Yeah, lead us to the barbecue. The chiropractors really help. Oh, that's good, Annabelle. That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually discovered now that basically, I think Bella and Dr. Nelson live both within 30 minutes of Smyrna Beach. So it looks like we're going to get a mini meetup going there between Dr. Nelson and
I think so.
Bella.
Yeah,
that's good news.
For sure. Yeah.
Barbecue on the beach. Barbecue on the beach.
Might have a Disney World meetup or something.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah. Lamb, porterhouse steak, New York strips. They're my favorite candy. Sounds good. Yeah. So there we go. Okay. I don't do any additional hormetic stress. Why should I? I've been married 42 years, and that's stress enough. That's a chronic stress. that's not a hormetic stressor at all. That's a chronic stressor. Yeah. That's good to hear, Annabella. Yeah. We're always glad to have you here too, Annabella. Thank you. I started editing a cooking recipe today. Oh, cool. Yeah. If for those who don't know, like Annabella, she always has cooking videos and things like that. So you should go check it out because she always likes to try new recipes and so on. Yeah. Praying for you, Lainey. Yeah. Yeah, we hope it all works out. I'm sure it will. Yeah. Great to seeing my best brothers here. Hey, Dr. Kilt's always good to see you, my man. Always good to see you. Yeah. Thanks for joining. Hey, Jonathan's here too. Still going strong.
We got some.
Yeah, it's been a long one today. Actually, we've been chatting for a while.
Very good friends. Well, everybody's very good friends, but we got all our favourite friends in the chat tonight. You see.
Thank you, Dr. K. Really appreciate that. We both think you're the best, mate.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were saying that earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's butt, but honestly, Dr. K is one of my inspirations. Actually, it's such a cool guy. Always good to see Jonathan in the house. Yep. Let me see. I've stayed up in the Great Barrier Reef. Islands. Yeah, for a large part of my trip to Australia, and that was the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life in paradise. There are some beautiful islands on off the Queensland coast in the Great Barrier Reef. The Whitsundays are absolutely they're beautiful.
Actually, something occurs to me, DC. In 2 weeks' time today, as in now, I'll be actually having dinner with Dr. Kilt. So,
cool.
It's kind of bringing it home to me, really, because we're both speaking at the Impact Festival on the Saturday, but we're meeting up for dinner. Robin's organised a dinner on the Friday, and that is only 2 weeks away. Doesn't seem quite real somehow, but it is real. So Dr. Kiltsey is still here. I look forward to seeing him on that Friday evening. And
I'd love to catch up with these guys sometime. Yeah.
I keep on telling you, it is going to happen, DC. It is going to happen.
It will.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I mean, Dr. Kiltsey is going to be around for at least the next 30 years. So you will catch up then for sure.
He's got so much energy. I think he'd be around for another 70 at least. Yeah. One of the chiropractors does meat-based, so he wasn't against. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I found it's honestly like some of the chiropractors that I've spoken to in the past, like people I met in Japan and other places, they seem to be more open-minded about health, especially nutrition and things like that. So, whereas some of the doctors I speak to are very, very closed-minded about that stuff. So, yeah.
I just need to add in the fact that yes, not only I will be over in Kalamazoo, but Lainey also will be speaking at Kalamazoo as well. So. That's myself, Dr. Kiltz, and Lainey, who will all be speaking at Kalamazoo.
Yeah. And CV Carmaker has joined us. Very good. Thanks for joining us. I'm hoping to get 1,000 subscribers soon. Oh, okay. Yep. And everyone, go subscribe to Annabella. She's lovely. Okay. So, I mean, if you haven't already, yeah. I haven't. Trying to catch up here. I haven't. I haven't been to the Great Barrier Reef in a long time. Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, I haven't been there for ages actually. Yes, in the Whitsundays. Yeah, the Whitsun. I mean, there's a number of islands. You know, there's over 1,000 islands around Australia, like small islands around Australia. Some really, really beautiful places that some actually, most of them have never actually been explored even, and most of them have no population or anything like that as well. So, you know, it's still quite remote. Yeah, but yeah, the Whitsundays are absolutely spectacular. The beaches, you know, you got beautiful white sand beaches, beautiful crystal clear water. Yeah, quite lovely actually. Yeah, Hayman Island, Daydream Island. Yeah, there's so many. Stradbroke Island. Yeah, there's so many. Yeah. George, be careful having dinner with. Be careful having dinner with Dr. Kiltz. Yeah, you might break it. You might break a tooth. He may still have brick debris on his hands from chopping bricks.
Okay, we need an explanation here, DC.
I think that one needs a. I think that one needs an explanation there, mate.
Do you know CB Carmack?
No, not offhand.
Right. Okay. So CB is a deputy sheriff from Alabama,
Okay.
and he is known as the Joker. He was on the first cohort course with me on the Kills Health course, and he and I have got a couple of things in common: a warped sense of humor and a love of foraging for mushrooms. So we became quite good friends, and he has had a warped sense of humor because I put up some photographs of Dr. Kiltz making a speech here in the UK the other day, and he managed to take them, use Chat GPT, and has actually created an AI photograph of Dr. Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz is pointing his hand like that as he does, and CB's got him actually karate chopping his way through a pile of bricks. Okay. I'm not sure CB knows that Dr. Kiltz is in chat tonight, but Dr. Kiltz, if you are, then I will show you the photographs that CB sent me, the AI of you actually karate chopping through a pile of bricks up on stage. So yeah, so CB, Deputy Sheriff from Alabama, great guy, and he's an expert on. He's what do they call it? The mycologist, amateur mycologist, as in the mushroom expert. In other words, fungus expert. Great sense of humor. Great story of turning his life around. Also, one of Ken Berry's PhD coaches as well. Great guy, CB. Yeah, if you ever see him in chat, beware, because he will be looking for the funny side of life, shall we say?
Okay, well, that's good. Annabella's got a bit of a story. Is like my chiropractor was vegetarian and was against keto. I never told him about carnivore. And the irony being that he had a heart attack at 50 and is no longer with us. Vegetarian.
We shouldn't laugh, DC, about other people having heart attacks at 50.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing.
I suppose. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't laugh about that. But it's like, but I mean, the irony being that they tell us that we're the ones going to have the heart attacks.
I know.
Well, it's just, yeah. Well,
yeah, irony is the irony is not lost on us, Annabella.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. Hey, Mrs. Good enough. Yeah, I'm so glad you found a good one now, Annabella. I'm sorry, guys. I've got someone at the door. Can you just give me a minute? George, you want to take over for a minute?
Yeah, we'll do. No problems at all.
All right. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Yeah, so, Bella's saying to Annabella, she found a good one now, Annabella, which is good. And CB is well aware of the fact that that Dr. Nelson and Dr. Kiltz are great teachers, are in chat. So, yeah, it's nice to see you, CB. We don't catch up with each other quite as much as we used to. Annabella's saying that the chap who had the heart attack, the chiropractor, was a lovely man, but listening to the mainstream advice, this is the problem. Because it's they are the establishment themselves, and they're going to listen to the mainstream, and then they pay the price. I tell the story about my 57-year-old friend who died with type 1 diabetes. Didn't wake up one day. his mother was a doctor, and he believed her. He believed everything that he thought the insulin that he took would protect him. It didn't. He lost some toes, and shortly afterwards lost his life. So
yeah. Well, that was the same with my uncle last year. Like last year, he was diabetic for, I think, nearly 30 years, but he was the same. Like he figured that as long as he kept taking the insulin, he'd be protected. He'd be fine. And one morning he just he sat down in his lounge chair and then went to sleep and didn't wake up.
Wake up, same as my friend Dave.
Yeah. So it's just
I mean, the thing is, when it comes to type 1 diabetes, insulin obviously, but there's a lot of people out there who think that they can, if they take the insulin, they can carry on living the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right. They don't have to make any changes.
Yeah, Coach Amy Perrin, 72, I think she is, type 1 diabetic for a long, long time. She's a Kilts health coach. She was a classmate of mine and CB's. She would be my go-to for type 1 diabetics if I wanted to. If a type 1 diabetic came to me asking for advice, I would send them to Amy because she has kind of cracked it. She's still desperately looking for the cure for type 1 diabetes, but at the moment she's managing it very, very well. So she would be my go-to when it comes to type 1 diabetes.
Yeah. Well, the diabetes is not the only thing, though. I mean, like, there's so many things that, we are told that you can manage these conditions with medications.
Yeah.
Even my cancer is the same. It's always there. It's always, they keep telling you it's going to recur. And you have to keep taking chemotherapy and keep taking all these drugs to stay in remission and all this other garbage. But we unfortunately we are trained to trust in the doctors, that they know best, that they know better than we do, how to better look after our bodies, and that this is all we can do. Like, this is the tip of the spear when it comes to technology. We live longer now because we take pills, and we have a much better lifestyle now because we take a heap of pills and poison ourselves with all these other drugs and supplements and all this other stuff. And it's just the way we've been sort of conditioned, unfortunately. I saw Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson in the chat, two of my heroes. Jonathan as well. All three great guys. He was a lovely man, but just listen to the mainstream advice. Yes. I mean, this is it too. A lot of it comes down to, it's not because they're bad people or anything. They just trusted, and I was the same. I was exactly the same. I trusted my education. I trusted my doctors. I trusted even to the oncologists that I still see today. I trusted that they knew what they were doing. When I was first diagnosed, I didn't know anything about cancer. I knew it was bad. I knew I didn't want to die from it. That was about it. But you think that these guys are the experts. Okay, so of course you listen to them. And unfortunately, they just didn't have any of the answers for me.
No.
So you have to get your own, and there's nothing wrong with that.
My problem is type 2 diabetes, which I now know is one of the simplest things in the world to fix. Yet no doctor would tell me how to fix it. It was a nurse who gave me the clue, and then I went away and had to do the research myself. And here I am, 4.5 years on, back. I've lost 120 pounds and no more type 2 diabetes. I'm back to my 18-year-old physique. It'll be my 61st birthday in 2 weeks' time, and I'm back to my 18th birthday weight and waist. I'm a 32-inch waist down from a 44. It was so simple. It was so bloody simple, DC. And yet no doctor would tell me how to do it. The nurse didn't tell me how to do it, but she just gave me the clue that all carbs are sugar. I had to go and learn how to do it for myself, but that's all I needed. I just needed a slight nudge in the right direction, which no doctor was prepared to give me. Here's his prescriptions, and I get out of my office.
it's not. It's probably not that they weren't prepared to give you. It's that they didn't know. They
Yeah,
don't
true.
know themselves. You know,
Yeah.
like and, you know, most of the doctors that I speak to in the cancer wards, they have got absolutely zero clue. You know, the nurses, even the nurses, like one. I mean, I've said this before. Like some of the advice they gave me, like some of the people told me that eating junk food is going to be healthier for the cancer because there's no nutrients to feed the cancer. I mean, you got to be. I mean, seriously, I mean, it's unbelievable. This is the
Well, I
kind
mean,
of
that's
stuff.
why they have PET scans, isn't it? Because a PET scan, I think you put sugar in there because it lights the cancer up. It brings the
Yeah,
cancer out of
exactly.
the body.
Yeah, exactly. It
I
just
mean,
like
I have you been in contact with Steph recently? Because she was kind of explaining about the way that her treatment works. They actually you fast, and then you give chemotherapy, and then you give a sugar heavy meal. Because basically the chemo is then in the bloodstream. The cancer senses the sugar coming in, comes out to play, opens itself up with the receptors, and bang, the chemo gets it. And that's that's a very radical treatment that Steph is undergoing chemotherapy at the moment, and it's quite clever when you think about it. Fast the cancer, starve it, suddenly introduce it as natural food, and it goes, oh, time to wake up, wakes up, and the chemo zaps it. Quite clever.
Yeah, that's. Well, I hope it works.
Yeah, well, it's worked so far for Steph. It's brought back literally from the brink. So
yeah, she's looking much better, isn't she? Yeah. Carnivores are radical thinkers.
Well, we have to be, don't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, I wouldn't say radical. I think everyone else is radical. The problem is that radical thinking is pretty much normalized. I think we're so more critical than radical.
Oh yeah, I know what you think, but like radicals, were they revolutionaries? I can't remember, but yeah, critical, radical, whatever. Yeah, but I know we know what about it saying. We try and think for ourselves, as we were talking about Dr. Kiltz earlier. We throw ideas at each other and we discuss them. Some of them lead down a blind alley, others make sense. Yes, but if we didn't do it, then we would just be accepting the blinkered view of life, wouldn't we? That
that's right.
Eat the rainbow, plants and vegetables are good for you. We question everything. If we don't question everything,
well, I think the difference is too that especially when it comes to nutrition and the way we feel, we question the way we feel, and this is important. I think that people have given up the control of their health simply because they don't trust the way they feel. They'll trust the advice they're given to them by doctors over the way they feel. So even though, like, a doctor will give them a heap of pills and say, "Oh, just keep taking these pills," even though that makes them feel bad, they'll still do it because they trust the doctors know better than their body does. Because we've been conditioned to think that our bodies have no wisdom in it at all, and that it's just there's something wrong with our bodies, and that's not the case. That the problem is, humans are arrogant enough to think that there's a problem with the body, and that we know better than our body does, and there's more wisdom in our body than in all of human philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've learned to trust the process and listen to my body now. That when my body tells me something, it's I listen to it.
Absolutely, yeah. Her main chiropractor is so cute. Well, I'm sure that makes it a little bit easier to go to, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it makes it a little bit easier to put up with the back cracking. So grateful for carnivore.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm really grateful for. I mean, it's been a long process. It's been a very long struggle. There was no sort of roadmap, no plan. It's all just very much trial and error, for my story at least. And but I'm very grateful that I've managed to survive long enough to find these things that work, and
exactly.
that you can do this without spending a lot of money, because you really, I mean, apart from the food, I really don't spend any money on anything else, on the breathwork of grounding and ice bars and things like that. So I'm very grateful for that.
Free is again to if Dr. Kilts is still here, let's talk about Occam's razor. Occam's razor, Dr. Kilts is a great fan of, and it just means shaving down to the basics. Keep it. Occam's razor is kind of another way of the KISS thing. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's right. What do you really need in this life? Do you really need all the accoutrements? I don't think so. Keep it simple. As simple as that.
Yeah. Annabella was saying there's nothing wrong with her eyes.
Yeah, okay, now I get that. Yeah. She can spot eye candy when she sees it. Yeah. Now I get that comment.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have a bit of eye candy there, Annabella. Just makes it a bit easier to go visit the chiropractor, doesn't it?
A spoonful of sugar makes medicine go down. I think it was Mary Poppins, wasn't it? So,
that's right.
Yeah. So we're not allowed sugar, so you can have a bit of eye candy instead.
Yes, insulin, in another sense, was kind of the pre-GLP-1s cheat, except for the weight loss result of GLP-1.
Yeah.
The one who discovered insulin sold for $1. Then Big Pharma made trillions. Yeah. Yep. That's the way it goes, isn't it? I had studied natural medicine. I couldn't help thinking that meat was still healthy for us. Yeah. But listen to the vegan herbalist that didn't reveal that he was Seventh-day Adventist. Yeah. And this is the problem. Like, we were talking about that earlier, Annabella, is that people don't understand that it's not that big corporation actually owns the nutrition, and like the food industry owns the nutrition science space. It's the fact that big corporations like Kellogg's, they actually started they don't just own it, they actually started the nutrition space, the nutrition science space. And I mean, this is the problem. It gets into education, and education gets into policy, and it directly affects policy through politicians and so on. But that's just the way it went. And unfortunately, there were plenty of people and plenty of clues along the way throughout the past. But unfortunately, there was the conditioning of our society these days. It's and it's run by these Seventh-day Adventists and so on.
Okay, so I've got a tit for tat story here, because where I'm sat here in this office, within 10 miles of me, there is a very innocuous little building in our county town, just a red brick building, and on the outside of it, it has a sign saying "Welcome to the Seventh-day Adventist Church of Taunton." So they actually are over here in Somerset, believe it or not. However, having said that, I'm going to return the compliment, because I and Lainey will be going to Kalamazoo along with Dr. Kilts and various other people. And the international airport that we are flying into actually serves two towns, Kalamazoo and Battle Creek. If Battle Creek is a name that means anything to you, which is the home of Kellogg's. So the irony should not be lost on us that we are actually flying in for a carnivore conference in the Kellogg's homeland. And the great thing about it is Robin, who I know very well, carnivorous grandma, Robin Heron, she used to work for Kellogg's, and now she's organising carnivore conferences in Kellogg's backyard. So let's not lose the irony of that either. So a former employee of Kellogg's is now.
Success can be the best revenge,
Exactly, that's right. So that's two stories. Yeah. Kellogg's have managed to, or the Seventh Adventists have managed to inveigle themselves into my tiny corner of the world. But I'm returning the compliment. Me and Lainey return the compliment in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. Well, they've invaded the whole West, with all these societies like the Dietetics Association and the nutrition space in universities and so on. So they've pretty much taken over, haven't they?
Yeah, they're on board. Zoe Harkham is an expert on where they are, and she can see them out.
Yeah. Zoe's wonderful, actually. Yeah. She's really good. Yeah. I had a doctor tell me I shouldn't be in ketosis with diabetes. Yeah, I mean, and what do doctors know about that stuff? Honestly.
Red meat causes diabetes, DC. We all know that. Everybody knows that red meat causes diabetes.
Yeah, bloody, it's really just such a sad state, really, isn't it? But for the type 1 diabetes, exogenous insulin discovery was a majority important discovery. Yeah, lifesaver and deserves more than it has received. Yeah, that's true. You know, it's like because you can't just. It takes time for your body to heal. So even if you did just go, if you had type 1 diabetes and then just went carnivore, for example, it takes time for your body to heal, and in that time you could be dead. So
Yeah, I mean, Amy's really worked hard on this, but as she said, the beta cells are just dead. So she has not been able to cure herself, and she requires insulin.
Yeah. Like I've spoken about this before. There are times when you're going to need that bridge where you need the medications to get you to the healthy state where you can then go off the medications. Everyone needs that bridge, but how you transition, how dedicated you are to getting off that bridge. That is, make a long bridge or a short bridge.
This is what makes type 1 different, because you can't. Amy has tried for all her life to find a way of getting off the insulin, but she comes to accept the fact that she never will. She's really working very hard to find a cure for type 1 diabetes, but she's on reduced insulin because she manages her diet very well, but the insulin is still necessary for type 1 diabetes.
Yeah,
which is a shame.
The sad fact is that the insulin will eventually kill them as well. Because it degrades the body and so on. But unfortunately, it's just, I mean, some people may never get off that bridge.
No, exactly. So I say, at the age of 72, Amy has devoted her life to studying type 1 diabetes, and I commend everybody to Amy and her channel. Brisket Boomers is her channel. Brisket Boomers. So she's
Brisket Boomers. Yeah.
Brisket Boomers. Yeah.
I should have said we are thought of being radical. Yeah. Well, that's true. Yeah, we are thought of being radical, but
yeah. Just another quick word on Amy. She's in Maine, in the US of A, so up in the northeast corner there.
Yeah. So. When did I need to eat a rainbow? Yeah, I'm not a unicorn. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Eat the rainbow. Everybody knows you got to eat the rainbow. If you can find the pot of gold at the end of it as well, that's just a bonus.
A new organization name or gang, Carnivore Heroist.
We carnivore, we're heroes. As I said, I think I said before, DC, carnivore is a world in which your heroes become your friends, and that's definitely the case.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a great it's a great connector, because like you said, like we now have friends and people around the world, but of all status points in life as well. Like, I mean, you get people like Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson, quite well, and even Dr. Baker and so on, and we can consider these people as friends, and we probably would never have spoken to these people in general.
Right,
like, we never met. So it's kind of the great equalizer, really, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And nobody ever thinks about money in our world. We just don't really, do we? No. But I'm going to make an illustration here. As I said, in my role of global ambassador, I say that I have a global network from California to Queensland and everywhere in between. Earlier on this evening, we had Christy from Southern California talking to you in Queensland. I'm in between in the UK. We've got Nelson and Bella in Florida on the east coast of the United States of America. And so as I said, my saying is California to Queensland and everywhere in between, and I stand by that. Yeah. So there we go.
Thank you, Bella. I appreciate that. I hope it. I just really hope that I can help people with, if I can share in my story and just show them things that I do to keep on top of my health, and hopefully they they don't have to go through the problems I had navigating to try and find these things that help me. So I do appreciate that. My chiropractor is very sweet. I was very scared I might faint from the adjustments, because I used to nearly faint from an adjustment because I nearly did years ago, as something was wrong with my body. Yeah. Well, anytime you start kind of treatment, it can be very scary. It's good to have someone you can, is sympathetic to that sort of, going into those treatments as well. So, do you wear glasses? How has carnivore helped your eyes? I used to wear glasses. Actually, I haven't worn glasses for years, to be honest. But I used to have to. I still have them. Actually, can't even see them there. Don't know where they. Can't see my glasses. No. Yeah, I used to wear glasses. But I haven't worn my glasses for about 3.5 years, 3 years or so. But yeah, I used to wear glasses. I used to need them for the computer or for reading or anything like that. But actually, I haven't. Yeah. So yeah, that's one way it's helped me a lot, actually, with vision. So babies that are breastfed are in keto. Yeah, exactly. It's a natural state.
Exactly right.
It's a natural state. It is our natural state. So, and that's when you get. I mean, if you think about it, that's that's when the most development happens. During when we are born, our babies are born. That they're in that ketosis state, because that's what our brains need for development. Our brains need ketones. It's the preferred fuel for the brain. So, to say that it's bad for us in any kind of way, and I think especially as later on in life too, as we age, this is a thing too. There's very similar to babies, where development is, and as we age, we lose those. Like protein, for example, we need to increase our protein intake as we age, because our ability to absorb those proteins into our cells gets worse and worse as we age. Same being in ketosis also, because common cognitive function diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, things like that, they also show a lot of brain shrinkage as we age. Right. So being in ketosis, I imagine, would help to either reverse or maybe stop the brain shrinkage that we get as we get older. And that's another reason why, as I was talking about these bilateral coordination exercises at the beginning of this live today, these are things that can also help us, being cognitively aware and stimulated as we age as well. Of course, it comes down to nutrition and breathing and all these other things. But, being in ketosis, how can that possibly be a bad thing? So I got off blood pressure medicine a few months into carnivore, which is
a lot of people
do. A lot of people do, yeah.
My
great thing.
One of mine is CB's colleagues in fact, she got a double crossover with CB, Juliet. She was on high blood pressure meds until carnivore, and now she's off high blood pressure meds. So it's a common thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing, isn't it? I mean, it's just ironic, isn't it? They keep telling us that eating meat will give us high blood pressure. It's really the carbohydrates that is giving us high blood pressure.
Exactly. Inflammation, high blood pressure.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Annabella. I'm really glad that they do help. I really am. How did you feel after you did a dry fast? Dry fast. I felt great. I mean, there's a lot of, like I've spoken about this before too. There's a lot of processes in the body that actually need you to fast for certain periods. each day, like for your immune system to function properly and so on. But I mean, I probably wouldn't dry fast in summer because it's very tropical here. But in winter, a dry fast, it feels very, very good. It's very easy to do, actually. So, yeah, I felt very clear actually afterwards. Mentally, physically, I just felt much clearer. So it was good. Awesome cap, George, by the way. I know it's your favorite hat.
Yeah, cook meat rare again. This hat came back with me from Wyoming last year, so it was a gift from Wyoming. So it's really good.
Yeah,
yeah. So I think we just to point out, DC, it's one of my jobs as the international ambassador to point out that in about 9 minutes' time, Grandma is going live, Barbara is going live from Ohio. So
yeah.
I think we've been going 3 hours now, so I think if we
that's right. I think
we'll with Annabella's final few comments, and we really need to wrap this up by the top of the hour so that everybody can go and see Grandma if they want to. And I actually need to go to bed because we're going up to see Louise tomorrow.
Fair enough.
2 hours away, but I'm also Grandma will be expecting me on her channel in the morning to say hello. So yeah, I think if we try and wrap this up by the top of the hour,
we've been going much longer than we usually do. Actually,
yeah, so we're nearly 3 hours in now.
Yeah,
and that's because we've had such, and the reason being is we've had such a great audience tonight.
Oh, absolutely,
including our two favorite doctors and people
always great.
Annabella's been great. We've had people drop in and out, but it's just been a fabulous.
Actually, Dr. Kilt is at an event today, isn't he? He's really
he's always at an event. He never seems to be not being there. He's on a world tour at the moment.
He's always somewhere, isn't he?
He came to see me in June, and he's meeting with me. He'll be at Kalamazoo in 2 weeks' time. He's always on his line saying, "Elliot, where am I? Am I going to be in Kalamazoo? Elliot, where am I going to be?" And Elliot has to sort of tell him where he's going to be because he can't keep track. I'm not surprised.
I eat more than Annabella is saying that she eats more than the recommended protein on carnivore. I don't think it hurts you doing that when you eat fat. No, I don't think so either. No, I mean any excess protein usually you just sort of secrete it somehow anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much. Normally blood pressure medicine and type 2 diabetes medicine are normally on it for life. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what the doctor will tell you because that's what they want you to be, the normally on it for life, because a patient cured is a customer lost. Exactly. They want to keep you as a customer.
Yeah, demyelination. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Glad it was such a help today. Oh, always. I've taken a nap and a shower during this.
Hang on a second, Terry. Are you taking the piss out of me Dave for being on for 3 hours when you go on for 5 hours with Grandma on occasions? Come on, Terry. Talk about the popcorn and the kettle black.
Fair enough.
By the way, Terry, I know that you'll be going on with Grandma in a minute, and I'll probably pop in and say hello as soon as I come off this. So see you over there.
Yeah, well, fair enough, Terry. Though, yeah, it has been a long one, probably one of the longest ones I've done. Actually.
Yeah, Terry's another of our California friends. So another one. So again, from California to Queensland, it's keeping it true.
It's great hanging out with you all. Good on you, Bella. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate you all coming by today. It's been good to have. It's always good to have people in the chat that participate and help us to have questions or keep the conversation going. And
absolutely, that's the reason, because usually Dave goes on for 2 hours exactly, but we're coming up to the 3 hour mark tonight, and it's all because of you guys in the chat.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right.
God bless America. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, I agree, Annabelle. They are very ignorant, actually, unfortunately, and yeah. Well, that's another hour conversation, actually. So we'll just leave that there. So, Yep. Okay, guys. Well, I think we will leave it there because it has been, like George said, it's been almost 3 hours. So, but really do appreciate everyone stopping by, and it was great. It's a great chat. So hopefully we'll see you all again soon. And I was shocked this long too.
But Terry, it's not long. Yeah. Barbara goes on for 7 hours. This is only 3 hours with only amateurs compared to Barbara.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Bob and Rick. Rick's the other one. Rick's had some pretty big marathons as well. I've seen him go for 9 hours, 10 hours. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I could do that. That's a lot of talking and a lot of.
And of course, the other thing about Barbara is she's in between 4 and 7 hours, 7 nights a week as well. Not just one, but 7 nights a week.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. That's big. That's big. Anyway, all right, guys, we'll leave it there. But thank you all very much. We really do appreciate it, and thanks again, George, for popping in. And it's always good to catch up.
I always let you lead off, and I think somebody else is going to go on tonight. Everybody must be fed up with me now. But after half an hour, I think, okay, nobody's going on. I'll
I think we're going to have to. I'm going to have to rename this to "Hang Out with George" and "Hang Out with DC and George."
Yeah, I won't be able to make it on Sunday because I've got a breakfast appointment.
Yeah,
but I always do try and. But come on, guys, CB, somebody else come next week. When Dave's on,
everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Like I've always got the link at the top, so everyone's welcome.
CB's not afraid to go on every now and again. Terry goes on with Bart, so come on.
I'm not that scary. I'm not that scary.
No, you're not. You don't bite it. So,
yeah.
You're not a funnel web or an alligator or a salty crocodile.
No. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all have a great weekend wherever you are.